I gotta turn the music off. Hang on. I gotta get used to this music. I gotta get used to the music. I have to turn the music. I remember to turn the music off. All right. Well, guess what? It's fight night, baby. The Atomic Drop podcast is here live Saturday night. Get the popcorn ready. With me, my good friend here, Mr. Black Lightning from the Part-Time Marks on Tuesday nights, 10:30 p.m. Mr. Black Lightning. And there on the end, the showstopper himself, Cowboy Dave Yarnell, the Heartbreak Kid. How you guys doing?
I can't complain about it. I'm here with some of my favorite guys about to talk about wrestling on a Saturday night. It's a good night for me.
Oh, yeah. I can say the same. It's a good night for me too, gentlemen, and you guys know why.
Yeah,
the showstopper is here, baby.
The showstopper is here, and we'll get to why Dave is smiling ear to ear. But before we get started, I want to let everybody know today's show is brought to you by Jason Fine, attorney Big Al. You can reach Big Al at 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123. Jason Fine specializes in motor vehicle accidents, slip and fall, workman's comp, and personal injury claims. He has 3 office locations conveniently located throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. His office in the great state of the Garden State of New Jersey is located in Cherry Hill on 3 Greensward Lane. The phone number there is 856-209-5258. And he has 2 offices located in the Keystone State of Pennsylvania, one on the east side and one on the west side. The one on the west side is located in Pittsburgh on 500 Grant Street, Suite 2900. The phone number there is 412-365-8151. And the one on the east side is located in Philadelphia on 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120. The phone number there is 267-888-2980. Jason Fine, be sure to let him know that you're part of the Out of the Box Sports family, and he'll hook you up with a great deal. Hey, there we go. We're back. All right, guys, let's kick this shindig off. Talking a little bit of WWE wrestling. So, Monday Night Raw. Let's talk a little bit about Monday Night Raw before we get into SmackDown. A couple things from Raw. What did you guys think of CM Punk's promo? I thought it was a great promo to kick off the show. Scathing promo, giving Rock the shit, giving John Cena the shit, and then of course that knock him down, drag him down, front to back, side to side brawl with Seth freaking Rollins. What are your thoughts on that, Mr. Black Lightning, sir? Kick us off here,
man. That's how. If you're gonna, this is how I am. If you're gonna start wrestling or start a show with a mic spot, I know they usually do it, but that's the kind of mic spot you come in with, and they got physical with it too. Not only was it a smoke and that, because that's what we want to see from CM Punk, to be honest with you. We know, I mean, I've always been like, I'll take CM Punk on the mic over really CM Punk wrestling, to be honest with you. So when he comes in smoking hot, and that's like I said, I kind of talked to my cousin. He was like, man, how do you think they're going to start Raw coming off that hot pay-per-view? And I'm like, the only other way I would start it out was with CM Punk. And here he comes. I mean, just how he got out the truck, I said, oh, he's walking with a purpose. He got some shit to say. And just the whole delivery of it. He walks out there, the attitude, he rips half the table off. And then the delivery was great. And then, like you said, I guess really he could say whatever he wants about Seth, but Becky's the trigger word. Because once he says Becky, here comes Seth. And I still don't even think, I watched it back a couple times. I don't think Seth knew he was coming yet, because it looked like Seth was still like doing his little bop and and once he realizes, holy shit, Punk's right here, they had to go. So it was perfect spot to open the show.
Absolutely. Dave, first off, Josh, what's up? Thanks for checking out the show, Josh. Dave, what were your thoughts on Monday Night Raw?
I don't blame CM Punk one bit. I thought it was great. It was a great cut. Comes out of the truck, comes walking down the aisle, grabs the microphone, starts blasting on everybody. Who do I start with first? I thought that was great. Yeah, telling the crowd, who do I start with? Do I go to Cena? Do I go to Rock? Do I go to Rollins? Where do I go? Because first of all, you guys have got to remember, Rollins did screw him over in the chamber, so he had every right to do what he did. Coming out there and getting the crowd pumped up and everything was just, I thought, and personally I don't blame him one bit, because remember, he still has that favor in his pocket. So whatever that favor is going to be, and I was upset because I wanted him to win the chamber. That's how I picked him to win the chamber. But in the long run, great start to Raw, no doubt.
Yeah, and just basically calling whatever John Cena fed the kids over all these years, bullshit, and it was well done. It really was. It's basically saying I don't care that Rock runs the shows on the board or whatever. You're really CM Punk. And like you said, Mr. Black Lightning. I feel like I should call you Mister.
No, you're one of my friends. You can call me BL.
I'll
My
narrow it down
friends
to
call
BL
me
then.
BL, man.
BL. Like you said, he walked down with an attitude, right? I mean, he didn't stop and do the, his clobbering time or pander to the crowd. He looked like he was carrying a couple suitcases. The arms were puffed out, and he was walking down with a purpose. And it was fantastic. It really was great way to start off the show. And the brawl, between he and Seth, just not only was it out there on the ramp, like you said, Seth comes out, starts with his little jig, and then he sees that CM Punk is already heading his ass up the ramp. He's like, "Oh man, I gotta get rolling here." My alarm's going off to wake up for work. I gotta shut that off.
Man.
But anyway, that's for during the week. I usually have to shut it off. But anyway,
I mean,
it makes its way down to the ring, and also made its way to the backstage as well. I mean, they went all over the place with that brawl. I thought it was awesome. Yep. A lot of times you see it end, or you see it like short-lived out there at the ringside. Then you'll see a little bit in the back. But I mean, it was nonstop, continuous, and they looked a little bit gassed after that. I mean, you can't.
Seth was on his way back to the ring when they met each other in the back.
Yeah,
because she was trying to get like an interview with Seth, and she was like, "We know you're on your way to the ring," and then he seen Punk, and they were right back at it again. Like I said, the ending to that match too, with Seth Rollins yelling, "Die, die!" Like, I hate you this bad that you have to scream "die," because a lot of people forgot Seth was even out there. It wasn't a long transition for that going into that, but I mean, it was probably like 1 or 2 good minutes. It might have been 2.5 minutes. So people totally even forgot Seth was there, and him just yelling through the cage, "Die, die!" I was like, man, they're telling a hell of a story again there.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, Seth yelling die during the chamber match. We understand that, but we didn't know where Seth was. I thought he was out of the ring. I thought he was out. I thought he was on the floor. So I'm thinking, then when you saw the stomp come in and to Punk and and then Cena goes in, he gets the the submission hold. You're thinking, okay, it's over. Seth, you just knew Cena was going to win it right there. But like I said, Punk got screwed in the match. He should have won the match too. And 3, like I said, those two going at it all over the building was great, no doubt about it. But at the end, where general manager Adam Pearce was like, "I don't want to see your face. I'm done with you." That to me, that was perfect.
Hey, and perfect comment here from Josh to brings to the other thing I wanted to talk about was the setting up of the cage match for next Monday at Madison Square Garden between CM Punk and Seth Rollins. And he said to Seth, "You're going to finish it. You want to finish it? We'll finish it." And then basically saying, tighten your shit up and finish it then, so I don't have to keep doing this week in and week out between you guys. And it should be a good one. And Josh here is saying that it could be could set up a possible return of the OTC. Roman Reigns, we haven't seen him in a little bit, so
thought about that too. I did.
And I was wondering, can we have a WrestleMania without Roman Reigns this year? I don't know. I mean, it's
I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, well, I don't know how they get him in.
Well, he knows how. Dave knows. Sometimes I like to pop up with random questions like that I don't want you to think about. I just want to hit you now. And it's funny you guys said this. So, do you guys? You get a second to think about it. Do you guys think if CM Punk, Rollins, and Roman Reigns is on the card the same night as Jey Uso and Gunther, who takes the main event? And are you taking away from Jay's moment if you think Jay's going to win? Because he is main event Jey Uso.
Yeah, like he's mid. I always call him mid card Jey Uso, but yeah, he's going for the title, so that's a main event type. And that's what I think. I think they have to be the main event, and it goes to the Undertaker effect. All those years with the Undertaker, technically there were some matches where he wasn't the last match on the card, which is usually what you would call a main event, but he was the main event. His match was the main event. So it's kind of, I think that's how you could look at it. If they do have some sort of triple threat match between Rollins, Punk, and Roman, you could view that as the main event, but it may not go on last. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
no matter how you look at it, you can say Jey Uso all you want, main event Jey Uso, but Roman's always the main event. It doesn't matter what time, where the show is. Roman will always be the main event, no matter how you look at it.
And that's how it was for the last couple Manias for the Undertaker.
And Larry, you know that.
Oh yeah,
Roman's,
absolutely. But I'm just thinking, like, Jey Uso's so hot right now.
oh, no doubt.
And that camera angle of them panning the whole stadium, of the whole crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want that early in the night, or do you want that to close the night out?
I mean, the way I view it, Larry, I view it. I could see Jey Uso winning, and the streamers and all that stuff. The fireworks going off, and everybody's going nuts with their hands up. And that has to end the night. Like Josh says here, he doesn't see Jay versus Gunther being a main event. If it's a triple threat night one, that's the main event. So Josh is thinking that it would be if that match would be made between Roman, Seth, and CM Punk, which it makes a ton of sense. It absolutely does. Makes a ton of sense.
Absolutely.
Well,
I'm just wondering if that.
Honestly, Larry, if you think about it, you could really have it in the beginning of the show. That's how I feel about it, because then it gets the crowd pumped up, doing the thing.
And you're right, Dave, because they had Seth and Drew last year,
right,
early on the card, our first match of the night. So
wasn't
yeah.
Jesus, last year Seth.
Obviously, the cash-in was happening too.
Right.
So they wanted to keep that separate from everything else that was going on.
And then Seth was a part of the was that night too, right?
That was the same night. He came back. That was night two.
Because then he came out to help.
Night one was the tag team match.
Right.
Yeah.
With Owens and Sami Zayn. Yeah.
No, it was Cody and Seth versus Rock and.
Right. Okay. Sorry, my phone. You're right.
So then Seth night two lost with the cash in after. Or no, Drew lost with the cash in, right? Yeah,
Drew lost the cash in.
Yeah, Drew beat Seth, and then he lost due to the cash in, and then Seth was there. But I think that was on first because Seth had to go help Cody. He couldn't have it right before Cody's match because then it just doesn't make sense that Seth went through a war, and then.
But wasn't Punk on commentating? Punk was commentating that night, wasn't he?
What was that?
I said Punk was commentating that night, wasn't he?
I think he. Wait, yeah, he started with them. Yeah. No, yeah, Punk was commentating the
That's what I thought.
And then Drew came out, he told him, suck it. There's only so many things.
And then Punk screwed him over.
Yeah. Well, he screwed himself over. That instigation lasted probably a good 3 or 4 minutes of him standing in his face.
Yeah.
It was a long time, but I was like, this is not turning out good. You could clearly see it wasn't turning out good. I just wanted to pick you guys' brains on that question.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see if, I like to ask random questions. Dave knows that I'm like, I want a non-thought out question. I just
think the beginning would be so much better because it gets the crowd going with the yeet thing. So
I got you. And I do get it. I really can't see. Because like I said, I can see Gunther and Jay having a good match, but I can't see them having, I don't see them having a 5-star match. I just don't.
Well, and I agree. I don't think it would be a 5-star match. I think it's more so for the crowd interaction than anything. The hype and just the anticipation of Jay actually winning the big one. And that's why I call him mid-card Jey Uso, because he doesn't seem to win the big match there. So, real quick, Paul checking in. What's up, Paul? He's watching UFC 313 right now. It said Rollins versus Punk at the sports mecca of the world in a cage next week. Wow. That's at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, I actually looked up tickets for that show. Little pricey there.
Come on, Dave, open up that wallet, brother.
I'm not going to Madison Square Garden.
So another quick question from Monday Night Raw. Do you think for WrestleMania, you think we're going to see Finn Balor and Braun Strowman for the IC title? You think that's going to be because on Monday they had Finn come out there and kind of antagonize Braun a little bit, and the Judgment Day kind of trying to wheel him in and attack him, but he just decimated Judgment Day again, and poor Carlito just getting destroyed. Carlito, he's probably thinking I should have just stayed away from this stupid WWE stuff.
So what do you say? Kind of triple threat with Braun too? With Braun Breaker?
Well, so no, I think Braun and do you think it's gonna be Braun and Finn, or like where do you get a triple?
That could be. It could be, right?
I'm still kind of on the train of because there's so many guys in that division right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So I still think there's going to be some maybe 5 or
Ladder
6
match?
man war. Yeah, 5 or 6 man war. You got Ludwig, Kaiser, Pete Dunne, Penta. I know we was kind of running through some of the guys the other day, Dave. What did we say?
You could put Ray in there too if you wanted to.
You could, yeah.
No, I don't want to.
I mean, I know he's with the LWO, but if you really wanted to, you could put him in there.
Yeah, but I think more they're shooting for more like the Penta, the Ludwig Kaiser, the Pete Dunnes, there's obviously then you got Finn,
right?
Braun Breaker. I still feel like there's somebody else we're missing there that's sort of in the mix, but in and out the mix. But
Dominic Mysterio.
Dominic Mysterio.
I think Dom just is playing his role right now. I don't think he's doing too much of. They're just throwing him in there every couple nights. Yeah. He's probably more working house shows, to be honest with you.
Well, actually, it's funny you should say that because last night he did that thing called. Are you guys familiar with Speed?
Oh yeah, that's what they tape for Twitter.
Are we talking about prank or are we talking about wrestling?
No, wrestling. It's called Speed.
Okay.
It's on a time limit. You have 3-minute time limit during the match, and you have to win the match within 3 minutes. So what they did was it's a dark match. So last night they had actually Dominic Mysterio versus Ivar, and Ivar ended up beating him, and that's the only time we saw Dom all night.
Well, what about Sheamus? Do you think Sheamus would be a part of that still, or because you have the Sheamus?
I don't know.
Well, they keep talking.
There's a possibility, though. There's a possibility, but I'm kind of with Dave.
So it's kind of funny, like at the Ivar wins the match against Dominic, and then he says, "I want to take on Dragon Lee for the Speed title, whatever." And Dragon Lee comes out and beats Ivar, and that was pretty much it.
That's pretty much how that went.
That's 3 minutes. It was done.
Yeah, so I think Dom is just playing Dom's role right now, wrestling every couple good nights. So I really don't see him, even though I'm a big fan of the Dom character. You know what I mean? And he can work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I never thought I'd be at a point where I'd be like, I really like Dom Mysterio. But one
of the best bad guys in the business right now. Think about it.
Absolutely. And he doesn't do anything.
Nope.
That's what makes him even better. He doesn't even do anything, and they love him. Yep. I mean, they love to hate him. So he's winning.
Love to hate him.
Yeah. So Josh kind of agrees with you guys. Multi-man match for the IC title, and he's saying Finn wins the IC title at Mania. So we'll see. We'll see what direction they go into. And what were your thoughts on Io Sky upsetting Rhea Ripley for the title? Are we going to see a triple threat match there as well? Because I mean, for the most part, I thought Bianca was kind of kept her nose out of it, and then when I'm watching this, because I didn't watch it live, I was at work, so I watched it over the next couple of days. I'm thinking to myself, why the hell is Bianca cheering on Io so much? Is she waiting for Rhea to kind of get distracted? And it worked for the most part, because Rhea got distracted. She got outside the ring, and she got overconfident with Io. She's like, this is I'll see you at Mania, and that's how she loses. So do we see a triple threat match? Io, Rhea, and Bianca. I mean, you can only have so many multi-person matches, but you want to have it's a 2-night show. You want to have as many people involved as possible. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Rhea's having bad luck, man. She's hurt again.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing.
Yeah, and I mean, they're saying it's undisclosed, so maybe they're trying to we're not gonna put it out there in case we can do something with her. But I mean, we obviously know something's wrong. Because I mean, if that didn't shock everyone, you know what I mean? I'm sitting here just watching, and I'm just already assuming that Io's taking the loss, because you guys know I really like Io. So I'm already she's taking this loss. But at least they're keeping her in that female top tier. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They're not jobbing her. So
No.
when she pulled the win out, I like looked at the TV again, like, what the hell's happening here? Like I was totally in shock. I'm just like, yo, this is a very unpredictable era. So I think with her being hurt, no, I don't think we're gonna get that. I think we're just gonna get Belair and Io, and I mean, we're gonna get a banger. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously they're pulling out more layers to this. I'm sure we'll get to that, but they're pulling out more layers to this story, which will add to it. I think they're gonna have a hell of a match because they're both super great workers. So you don't have to add anybody to it. You can let them go. And then this is where I get kind of confused because Belair's undefeated at WrestleMania. So I really don't want her to lose. It's just like a personal thing. You know, I like to see certain people really getting those pushes because it doesn't happen often for them. So I'm like, I want her to continue this streak for a little while. And with the storyline they got going right now, they might be on to something after last night.
Absolutely. So yeah, during that match, Rio and Io, I'm jumbling all my words together right now. Rhea and Io, I did notice that. I thought Rhea, she kind of fumbled a little bit a couple times trying to pick Io up. So I was wondering if she was having back issues, or like, because normally, when it comes to the power, physical type stuff, you see her not struggle, but it looked like a couple times she struggled moving Io, like, just like lifting her in some of the spots where like she'd have to catch her and then put her up. And so I thought a couple times that maybe she might have been injured or tweaked something or whatever. But when they say undisclosed injury, I mean, it could be anything, like where they could be thinking, well, maybe this is like a 2-week thing, or maybe this could be something more long term. So yeah, so we just don't know.
Guys, it's very rare. Now I have to go back to Triple H and the staff back there, but it's very rare that you see a title change hands on Monday Night Raw, especially a championship title like the WWE Women's title or the WWE Men's title. It's a very rare thing. It's like a house show. You don't really see that too much. So seeing Io Sky winning on Monday night was not only a surprise to us, because everybody thought, there's no way that Rhea's dropping this title, But then again, like you guys said, and I called this. I said to Paul, I called him. I said, I think Rhea's injured. Something is not right with Rhea. You can just tell. And her she's a step slower. You could just see like the injuries happening. But kudos to Io for winning that, which I really think they did the right thing for putting that title on her. So Rhea gets time to heal, but who knows how long she's going to be? We don't know. But like I said, it's very rare you guys see that.
I thought it was awesome. She gave a shout out to the rest of Damage Control with a couple of the moves there. The elbow and whatnot. I thought that was pretty cool. With Kairi Sane and whatnot.
Oh yeah, they pulled out all of them. I mean, they pulled out all the stops, and you're absolutely right. If she was really hurt, you could see it early in the match.
Yeah,
because you're right, they did fumble up a couple spots, and it was all early. It wasn't later. No. It was earlier in the match, and I think you might be right. It might be. I mean, now that you're saying it, it's starting to replay back in my head. And I think she possibly could have maybe have a back injury because it does seem like they were fumbling up quite early, and it seemed like it was when she was trying to lift her. So that's actually a good call. You might be right.
At first, when I was watching, I thought like they're trying to work too fast. It felt like they were trying to rush everything because it was fumbling. I'm watching her, and I'm like, man, there seems to be something physically wrong with her because she's not able to lift Io. It looked like in certain spots where you've seen her do it before with bigger competitors, and it's not Io. She's skilled. She's not a
sandbagger.
So
she's not a sandbagger. That's not something you're gonna have to worry about with Io. You can see who's a sandbagger and who's not, but they've gotten away from it a lot. Like you could really tell who's sandbagging and who's not.
Paul says here, Dave is right. My buddy said Rhea had a sling on her arm when he texted me the next day. So maybe it could be an arm issue, or arm, shoulder.
Makes a lot of sense.
Your shoulder bone's connected to your arm bone. Your arm bone's connected to your hip bone. All that good stuff. All right. So moving on to SmackDown here. Keep this train rolling. We kicked SmackDown off with Drew McIntyre attacking Damian Priest. And you know what? I think we talked about this last week on the post show, the Elimination Chamber post show, where it seems like that Drew and Damian. I remember saying that it seems like you have everybody starting to pair up for the WrestleMania runs here, and kind of like it's with Drew being pinned by Priest. Drew's going to bitch and moan about this, and that's what's going to set up that match. So you have Drew attacking Damian right away to kick off SmackDown, and eventually that full circle comes back later on when Drew wrestles Jimmy, which. I kind of felt bad for Jimmy. It felt like they kind of jobbed him a little bit. It was just a quick match, nothing spectacular. It almost felt like a job match for Jimmy. And then Priest attacks Drew, and we go from there. So it seemed like they're setting something up with Priest and Drew. So what are your thoughts? Dave, kick this one off.
There's your WrestleMania right there. Drew and Priest is going to happen. That's just what it is right there. I mean, they're setting it up. But again, once again, Drew gets ticked off because he lost the chamber and he got pinned by Priest. We get it. Drew McIntyre, it happens all the time. So,
McIntyre.
I mean, I love what he calls him that.
It's what it is. It's what it is. Drew gets ticked. He goes off on Priest. Priest comes back, gets him. It's a great storyline. Those two can really have a great match if you think about it. Because if you go WrestleMania with those two, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm okay with it either. Because you got to remember, they're both former champions, so nothing wrong with that. I got nothing. I'm good with it.
Yeah, I guess it's just okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you obviously can see they're going that direction. It's kind of more or less, okay. I'm not. I think Priest is kind of in that fold where he's like, I think pulling him away from the group. I just don't see him being as super successful as he was before, and I feel like he's kind of just floating and Drew's catching kind of the backlash because everything else is so much hotter. So he's just kind of like, all right, I'm just going to take what I can get because it's Mania. You know what I mean? But it kind of feels like Drew's biting a bullet on this one.
To me, guys, real quick, and I don't want to jump in on this, but if you guys think about it, the staff like back there, they love Drew. They just do. I mean, Drew can pretty much go with anybody, and he went with Punk. He's going with Priest. It doesn't matter. You can put Drew with anybody. That's why they love him so much because he's such a round. He can he just go with anybody. Doesn't matter.
And he's just taking those L's.
Right.
He's doing what he has to do too, as well.
He's the total package. A dude can talk. He can work with the super athletic guys. He can work with the big guys. I mean, he is the total package. So. I mean, that's you want guys in your company like that can go and put on a great match. It's believable that they could be champion. It's believable that they can work with the fast guys. It's believable that they could lose to anybody as well. So, Eddie Prather checking in. What's up, guys? Hey Eddie, how you doing, buddy?
Eddie, what's up, Ed?
Josh says there was such a bigger spot for Drew than Priest, though. Yeah, I mean,
I agree.
Just the facts. There you go. Hashtag it.
I mean, he's right. There's nothing. He's not wrong. There's bigger spots for Drew except Priest, but there's really nowhere to put Drew at this point in time if you think about it.
Eddie has a thought. What do you think? What are your thoughts on this, Dave? Just put the U.S. title on Drew. Drew could make the U.S. title important again. So
yeah,
can't. I mean, Drew's on. You can't. Drew's on Raw.
Yeah, you can't. Drew's on Raw, but we'll get there. We'll get there, but you can't put that on him because he's on Raw.
Yep.
But
maybe he'll enter the transfer.
Yeah, you're totally right, Ken. It took me the longest time to get on the Drew train, but it was once he started really being able to talk for himself. That's when I was last year sometime is when I really was like, okay, I like Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
I've always loved his entrance music. I felt like his entrance music was like way better than he was at one point in time. But now it's like he can talk, total package. He's got the look, like you said. He can beat anybody. He can take L's. There's just something so much better for him. But I'm sure they're going to put together something well because Priest can work.
Drew is on SmackDown. He's on SmackDown, but he can't. You can't.
Oh, that is right. He did just get traded.
He's on right. That's right. He got traded, but it doesn't matter. You're not putting this U.S. title on Drew. It's not going to happen.
I think he's bigger than that now.
Yep.
Josh says Cena was the match for Drew.
Cena was
the match for Drew.
He was. Yeah.
Keyword was. Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. That
Yep.
that would have been good for Drew's character too. Yeah, you're
Okay.
right, Eddie. You're right. You're right. He did
Sorry,
get
Ed, you're right.
But after you said that Drew's on on Raw, I'm like, wait a
Well,
second, that's
technically
what
he
we're
was
talking
on
about. I'm
Raw.
looking at it like,
Technically he was.
am I wrong?
Technically he was on Raw. He
yeah, and
was.
then he got switched
He
switched
got
out.
switched to SmackDown.
All right.
Yes.
Randy Orton, return of Randy Orton to SmackDown after we see him come back on during the Elimination Chamber. Dave, how was that? Was that exciting for you? Dave was at
You know what, you guys
SmackDown with
know,
his daughter.
I love Randy Orton. I just do. Guys, it's so funny when Randy comes out, you get chills. You just do. Like with his his music comes out and he's talking to the crowd and Randy's just something about 14-time champion, all that stuff. You gotta
Yeah.
love Randy Orton. You just do. I mean, his promos are amazing, and yeah, coming out here and talking about Kevin Owens, talking about Sami Zayn, saving this and that. But to me, just Randy's Randy, guys. I mean, I know his career is almost coming to an end, but still, in all, when he comes out there, you still get that vibe that he's Randy freaking Orton, and you always get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, Randy's in. He's in my personal top 5. You know what I mean? Of all time. Obviously, everybody has different, but when it just Randy's Randy. And like I said, the promos have gotten so much better over the years, and plus, the more they're letting people be themselves in the promos, the better they've gotten. You're not handing somebody this scripted piece of shit and saying, "Here, say this." Like, go out there, Dave, be yourself. Yeah, like, don't be nobody but yourself. And that's what he was doing. And he even snuck a good zinger in there with that rock bottom line.
That was great. That was great. It was
And
classic.
the setup was good too, because I was like, oh, I see what he's trying to say there. And then bam, he said, yeah, so that makes him, there's a whole new meaning to rock bottom. I was like, yeah, I seen what you did there. But yeah, Randy's Randy, total package. Him and Kevin are gonna put together something special. You can clearly see that.
Are
That's
we going
gonna
to see
happen.
a gimmick match? You think at WrestleMania, a gimmick match between those two guys, or do you think it's going to be a straight up regular match?
Nah, you don't even need it. You don't even need it. Randy's probably gonna try to play because I mean they want to play it safe for Randy. They were trying to put him in tag teams for a minute. They're just trying to play it safe for it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But Kevin's gonna protect him a whole. You know what I mean? Is 100%. So I think
Well,
they.
Hunter
I think
too.
they're just. Yeah, they're probably just gonna go out there. Like you said, it's one of the matches you can put on first or second, and it's gonna be a banger. And they're gonna get out of there. Kevin's gonna take a nasty RKO from some which way that we didn't even expect his. You know what I mean? His athletic self is because he's very athletic for his size. So he's going to take a nasty RKO. It's going to be a banger match. We're going to get some.
Without a doubt.
Eddie says they need to put the U.S. title that can bring the title somebody that can bring the title up like Gunther did the IC title. Gunther had the IC title for 10,001 days. And again, week in and week out, Gunther was putting on some great, phenomenal, crazy matches. It didn't matter with who, whoever came on, it was just a phenomenal match.
Which is hard to do, man.
It
you
is.
can work with anybody, man.
So
well,
I mean, I don't.
Gunther can work with anybody. We've seen that. I mean, Randy, even him and Randy were going at it for a while. So I mean,
And so he's saying Drew should be the U.S. champion to do that. I mean, I don't know why we can't. Speaking of U.S. champion, we'll talk about it. We'll just segue right into it. There's no reason to dance around it. L.A. Knight upsetting. I don't even know if you call it an upset or not, but beating Shinsuke Nakamura for the U.S. title. So you have a new U.S. champion. So can LA Knight not be that guy? Like we're talking about Drew.
Oh,
Eddie's talking about Drew taking the U.S. title and making it relevant. Why can't LA Knight be that guy? I don't understand.
I think with LA Knight, it's definitely a crowd thing with him. Either you like because the Philly crowd, they loved him last night. I mean, they just absolutely he could do no wrong. Him and Randy could do no wrong last night. It was perfect. So for LA Knight to win that match last night, which I was very excited to see, made my night. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Guys, I like Nakamura. He's good. He's got a lot of moves. Don't get me wrong. I have nothing against Shinsuke. I really don't. Except that entrance. God, that entrance was horrible last night. I didn't care for that at all. But other than that, I don't know what the Steelers story was. I heard a lot of things last night about Shinsuke losing that title, but to this LA Knight, like I said, I think it depends where LA Knight is and that the crowd favorite, because sometimes the crowd doesn't care for him and sometimes they do. So last night they definitely did, and Triple H likes to keep the crowd happy, so why not put it on the man, the superstar.
Yeah. Again, I actually wasn't shocked by it because I felt like obviously we've been noticing like Nakamura hasn't even been defending it, and I'm really got like the hype for LA Knight to win it the first time was great. You know what I mean? The build was great. They did it at the right time. But LA Knight's a chaser. So I see where everyone's going. Like, everybody's I can see the comments shooting through too. We're all kind of on the same page. I do. I really like LA Knight. Like they said a while ago, if you took Stone Cold and The Rock together and made a baby, you have LA Knight. That's exactly what you have. You have your Attitude Era character, because there's nobody in the company that's an actual Attitude Era wrestler and gimmick, but LA Knight is. He's 100% that. I'm
God, stop.
That it was. Oh, that should be a good one. Nakamura, just man, I just he's one of them guys I just don't get it because he's super good. I seen he wanted to go heel, but I think it's like almost too dark. You know what I mean? It's so dark. He comes out looking like Super Shredder.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
And then the entrance is way too long. I'm starting to like our buddy Josh always says to me, or maybe it's even Kurt. Like, once your entrance is long as the Undertaker's, I'm not feeling it. Like, so his entrance is super long. It drags out. Obviously he hasn't been defending it. They said he defended it twice maybe, and this last time. That they are kind of drowning this U.S. title. They need to do something with it, and that's not a shot at LA Knight because I really like him, and that's not a shot at Dave because I know Dave really likes him. I'm just like, that they're missing something here with this U.S. championship. And
but kudos to LA Knight for winning the U.S. title for the second time, guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not taking nothing away from him. Obviously, if you had to take it from Nakamura, that's somebody you could take it away on. Again, this is another live show title change, which, like I told the guys the other day, Ken, you didn't get to hear this. Man, I know you pop in and out sometimes when you get a chance, but this is like kind of the unpredictable era right now.
It really is.
Kind of doing like some unpredictable shit. And, this goes back to the Rumble with Jay winning. Like we said, seeing EO win the other night on Raw. Now we're getting LA Knight winning the championship on SmackDown. There's kind of like, obviously, and Cena going heel. So a lot of things are like, they're like, we don't want everything to be predictable no more.
Yeah.
They want guys like us sitting here picking each other's brains. This is what they want. You know what I mean?
Well,
instead of you know this.
I have a thought on that, but real quick, let me get through these comments here real quick. Josh saying no yeet. We have Eddie Prather checking in. Says Nakamura did damage to the title. Josh also said Jimmy as a U.S. champion at WrestleMania. Eddie also said that he doesn't have the LA Knight doesn't have the in-ring ability to carry the title to prominence.
That is not true at all.
That's not true.
Eddie says Knight is more of a promo guy.
Yeah.
Paul says Paul checks in. He said it was a Japanese hate crime last night, but he is a crowd favorite, LA Knight. But the best thing is them booing Paul George and the Sixers ringside.
Oh, they booed Paul George out of the building last night, guys.
And Eddie says Nakamura sucks, Paul. So real quick, I don't think Nakamura sucks. I like Nakamura. I did see something where he hasn't been on TV much because there was a death in the family a couple of weeks ago or whatever it was. So he was back in Japan taking care of that. But real quick, my thought on the era of unpredictability, I think a lot of that has to do with the new ownership, TKO, and also with Hunter running it. So what I think is happening, we're seeing more is they're allowing more time off for different reasons, whether it's for injury, whether it's for personal reasons, whether it's just time off just to recover. I think, and that's going to lead to certain titles being moved more often in different spots than what we're used to seeing. I mean, in the past, there's like the 80s, 90s Attitude Era, if somebody would have had a death in the family, guess what?
You got
They
to
would have
work.
heard about it, in a
Yeah.
postcard. The funeral was nice. They had to work. If there was an arm injury, they wore a sling out. Guess what? They'd shoot it up and they'd
You
be
had to
out there
work.
getting it. So
You had to
it's
work.
different.
Oh, that's
It,
the Vince era.
and, well, and you know what? I also call this back to CM Punk. CM Punk really shined a light when he first left WWE. It really shined a light onto their lack of, I guess, caring as
Caring.
to
Yeah.
the injury statuses and taking care of the injuries, getting healthy. It's just, we need you out there. 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 Instead of saying, okay, take a couple weeks, get better. We'll keep you off TV, or we'll just have you do promos or whatever. So I think it starts there. But now with the different ownership, TKO and Triple H, and even The Rock to an extent, because he's part of the board on TKO. Could be that could be it. I'm saying that could be one avenue, like why we see so many surprise title changes on live. Maybe Rhea's injured. Okay, let's give her some time off. Let's let her heal up, because she is a monster. She is a monster star, and we need her around a lot longer than just these next couple weeks or whatever. So,
well, did you guys find it funny? Not to cut you off, Ken, but did you guys find it funny that we had a title change hands on Raw? Now we had to have a title change hands on SmackDown. So you got to even it out, guys.
Yeah, and you know what? That's one thing that surprised me, is because there was a title change on Raw, and then we saw one on SmackDown. Like that really surprised me. I figured it would be one or the other, not both,
Right.
and that was surprising. Larry?
The only reason why I kind of thought there was going to be a title change last night on SmackDown is because there was 2 title matches.
Right. So one of them.
But I honestly thought if they were going to do it, I thought they were going to rip it away from Chelsea Green, which I was sitting here pissed the whole time.
Yeah, that was an interesting match. It really was.
It was. We'll talk about that in 1 second here. Let me get through this comment. Josh saying CM Punk did an interview that said the wrestlers now have an app where they can request time off, no questions asked. That's amazing. That is actually amazing.
I mean, you should. If you guys are my top talent, I want you guys. I'd much rather have you around for 20 years than 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if I can give you what you need to keep you and your family happy, that's what. And I mean, why probably Triple H is so understanding, because I mean, he's seen it.
Well, he's been there,
and I mean, he's related to Vince, so I'm sure he was like,
well, how many injuries did Tunner go through his career? Think about it, guys. I mean, really.
Well, I'm sure he was like Pops.
I mean, tore his quad.
Yeah, and he's probably, but even I'm sure there were certain times when he was like, Pops, I'm fucking tired, man.
Yeah,
I need a break, bro. You know what I mean? So, so actually getting to live it, and then being like, he even probably had to bag Vince for a couple breaks. Like, man, I'm gonna need the night off tonight. And he's probably, we're gonna need you to do a promo or something, or like, we're gonna need you to do something. You know what I mean? But I'm sure he probably bagged. So I'm sure he's at the point where like he fully understands that like their personal lives matter. Just going home to pay bills is not how everybody wants to live all the time. You know what I mean? You only got a certain couple people who do that now, who just literally go home, pay bills, and then they fly right back out to do something else. So, they're getting breaks now.
Well, so I mean, back in the day, they had like 2 days off, and then they were back on it again. I mean, that's including house shows too, guys. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Eddie says there should be a limit of how much time off is given. Don't want someone to take advantage of it. They're your cash cows. So I mean, I get it.
If you're injured, that's not taking advantage of it. I mean, if you're hurt, you're hurt.
And you're wrestling 200 and something days a year. I don't know if you understand what wrestling 200 and something days a year.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. Even there were certain times, even when we were wrestling in AON, and we were wrestling like 3 times a weekend, and I'm like, this is kind of exhausting. Like,
I mean, you're in a different city every weekend.
It doesn't matter how long your match is. It doesn't matter. This is exhausting. You're hitting wood and steel all weekend long. Your body's tired. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're probably eating shit food along the way. You know what I mean? So that you do need these breaks. And I'm
guys,
sure
let me ask you this question real quick. Would you rather be on SmackDown knowing that you have you work Friday, you have Saturday, Sunday, and the whole week, or on Raw where you just start Monday and you have the whole week? I mean,
Well, I mean, they're wrestling house shows too during the
Right,
week.
house shows too. But I'm just saying, like, what would you rather be? You know,
That's
if you had
that's
your
a good question.
choice.
I don't know. I'm one of them people who love. So I that's just how I've always been. I like, and I mean, I don't want, but it's like a spotlight hall.
I
So
think I'd
if
rather
you
do
can get
SmackDown and
me,
have the week off.
if I can be on both shows as much as possible, hey, figure out how to get me here. I'm
Right.
trying to be on both shows as much as possible because, man, like you said, man, and that's how you really start to really make your money, man.
Right.
Merchandise makes your money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it does take a toll on you too, Pilar. You know, I mean,
Yeah, it beats you up, but I mean, that's what you would want. So I guess it's hard. I mean, it's obviously you'd want to probably be on the show where Roman and Cody is,
sure.
but yeah, but you'd also, I mean, there's super talent over there too, and obviously probably have a better chance of becoming a world champion on the other side than you do over there. So
Right.
maybe
It
wrong.
varies. I get it.
So yeah. So that there was that. Also, Eddie says, did we talk about the newest addition to the Hall of Fame yet? Not yet. We will get
Not yet.
there. Have a set number time off, not due to injury, and can't set a limit due to injury. So yeah, you can't because you don't know when injuries
Right.
happen, stuff like that. But I mean, yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna take advantage of it because
Who wants to be off TV?
yeah, you want to be on. That's how you make your money. Like Eddie said with merchandise and not only like being wore out, just doing that in ring stuff, but also the out of the ring stuff, promotions and stuff, commercials and all that extracurricular stuff, meeting fans and that stuff gets all stressful and tiring too. You're constantly go 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 go. It's a different type of toll that it takes on your body, more so on your mind than anything, but it's all connected.
Absolutely.
So, all right. We saw Tiffany Stratton and Piper Niven. Not a bad match. A pretty decent match. And it's one thing you don't see Piper wrestle too much. She's usually Chelsea's, I guess, Secret Service, whatever the hell she is now.
It's a great gimmick.
It is. It's
Yeah.
great. It is a good gimmick, without a doubt.
They're good. They're great together. They're funny.
They
so
are.
I
They
dig
are.
it. But Piper, she's a decent wrestler in the ring. She does a good job in the ring for a bigger lady, and her and Tiffy I thought put on a decent match. It wasn't a 5-star match or anything like that, but it was a good match. It wasn't bad at all. And then we saw Charlotte Flair attack Tiffany's leg at the end of the match, put her in the figure 8 lock or whatever the hell you call it, and you really bridged it up there pretty good. Actually, I'm like I haven't seen that move in a little while, so you kind of
Tiffany
forget how
didn't tap
needed it
out,
is.
though. Did you catch on to that? Tiffy
No,
didn't tap.
I did. Yeah, I did not. I did not. And usually that's what you see. You see like them.
No,
banging
Tiffany
on the
didn't
mat or
tap. No,
whatever
she didn't. No.
She
to
didn't
kind of
tap
sell it,
out.
but
But she was
this is one
hurting.
time I was disappointed in Charlotte. Why was she dressed like a scarecrow? She looked like a scarecrow last night, guys, and everybody's
With the orange boots on?
oh man, the whole brown and orange boots. I was like, oh my god, she looks like a scarecrow tonight. I was like, she got to find the right look because she's driving me nuts. But yeah, Tiffy didn't tap out from that, so that was quite interesting. I noticed.
that is something interesting. I didn't notice that either.
Good match. It's amazing how I want to say Tiffy carried Dewdrop for the most part, because Dewdrop is a big girl. She can only go so much. I get it. But Tiffy's good. Tiffy's really good, and she's good in the ring. She's good on the mic. All kinds of things. I like what she's doing. This Charlotte thing, though, I'm trying to think. Is it Charlotte is Charlotte putting over Tiffany at this point, guys? I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, absolutely putting her over. Charlotte knows her job.
Okay.
Come in, and I mean, and that's what she's doing. She's being real arrogant. Like I said, she kind of was doing the face thing, but she kind of realized that they were like not having it.
She's putting over Tiffany, but would you guys be surprised if Charlotte actually did win at WrestleMania?
Yeah, I'd be surprised because I just don't see her winning it I just don't see her winning it this time. Like I said, we kind of know who she is. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't have to prove herself to anybody.
Well, of course not.
If she wins this is actually hurting Tiffy. So
Yeah.
I don't think you want to do that. I
Right.
don't think you want to do that unless you have something super major planned. But I think this would.
I mean, but
really-
can you guys see like somebody like Nia screwing this matchup somehow, some way?
Nah, I think they're gonna try to keep her away from it. They're gonna find something for her to do her own thing.
Okay.
And yeah, and going back to Piper Niven, that's what they need to be doing is letting her work a little bit because
Yeah.
she can work. You know what I mean? And
She's very good.
And this is the same again with Chelsea. Chelsea can really work. She chooses to play these like this goofy shit, but they should. This is the time now they should be letting her explode. Like
Mhm.
so show she's not just goofy. She can be goofy, but she got a mean side to her. You know what I mean? And that's the only thing that she's lacking right now is that full like she's goofy all the time, even during the matches. And I mean, I get that, but they're totally missing with this a little bit because she can really work. And now they're starting.
Piper can work, no doubt.
And then you got Piper, like you said last night. It was a good match, man. It was. He said it wasn't no 5-star match.
It wasn't a 5-star, but it was good.
No, but you get a good, you know what I mean? A good solid match. It helps push Tiffy's character. So I think they're going to start giving Piper just a little bit more. I think they're on to something now, especially what went down yesterday.
I agree. Totally.
So do you think they ever split up Chelsea and Piper? I mean, sooner or later it has to happen. Do you think they split them up anytime soon?
I'm going to say no.
No.
Not for a while anyway.
Nope. Because
it's a good gimmick and the gimmick's working and people seem to like it. So I would just run with it as long as you can.
Yeah, and then Piper knows how to play the goofy gimmick too. As you can see last night after her loss, she came out with the glasses.
The glasses, that was hysterical. That was funny.
She comes out with the glasses. She's like a total wreck.
She's
So
disheveled.
she's embracing the goofiness too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now I don't think they break it up with the addition of what they did last night of, adding Alba Fire into the mix.
You know what? That was surprising. That was surprising.
That's a shock too.
And and now if Chelsea has a cabinet, you know what I mean? So she's gonna have a Secret Service member, and she gave a little hint too. I don't know if you guys caught on to that, but she did say in the promo prior to that she said, I need more security. And
she did.
Yeah. So, there was the argument she had, and I forget who she was arguing with, but she said, "This is why I need more security." So
Alba Fire.
It would be terrible booking to take that belt off Tiffany. Okay. But yeah, she gave that hint that she needed more security because I was furious the whole night. Like, man, they're missing the boat with this Chelsea Green. With this whole thing, like super good heel. So I think
Chelsea's a great heel.
And I think maybe this gives her a tag team now because they're both obviously Piper's from Scotland and Alba Fire, where's she from? She's from
New Jersey.
England. Is she Jersey?
Is she Jersey? I don't even know.
No, I think she's from. Honestly, I think she's from another country. I think.
Yeah, she's like because when she was with Isla Dawn, that was one of the things they'd talk about when they had those ladies would be wrestling. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, and I think one was from Scotland, and one was from England. I don't remember which was which.
Okay.
I just know I had a thing for Isla Dawn, and I was super bummed when I seen that she was released. I mean, I'm still not over. I was in love with Isla Dawn. So.
You had a thing for Isla Dawn?
Oh my God, yeah.
I didn't know that.
That red hair, and she's thicker, a little bit thicker. Yeah.
It took me a while, but then I was like, you know what? She ain't bad. I was like, I didn't like the real big Joker smile at first.
No, I'm not a big fan of that, but the red hair and everything else going on.
I think it kind of threw me off, but then I was kind of like, you know what? I've had a couple redheads in my life. You know what? There might be something there. But I think they're on the side.
No, but seeing Alba Fire this night, that was very surprising to me. I didn't see that coming.
It was awesome. I mean, like, so we'll just talk about that match. We'll go right from the Tiffany Piper match right into Chelsea and Michin. So it was a really good match. It wasn't okay. Let me rewind here. It wasn't a really good match. It was an okay match. I was expecting more because it was a street fight, so you're expecting a little bit more out of it.
Well,
a little bit more. What's that, Dave?
I said, you know how Philly is. They were pushing for those tables, guys, all night.
And one of the great spots was when Chelsea pushed it back under, and she's she's so proud of herself. She pushed the table back. She's like, oh, I get a kick out of it. Chelsea's facial expressions, and she is
guys,
a good
heel. If I had to hear one more Eagles chant during that match, I was going to scream.
Did you wear a cowboy hat, Dave, or did you hide?
Well, with Michi coming in with an Eagles jersey on, I'm thinking, oh, great, that's all we needed. And all night it was, oh my God, they were spelling it out all night. I'm like, stop.
She knew what she was doing when she
exactly. Yep.
If that wasn't great, Chelsea dressing like Cactus Jack was even better.
That was great, guys. I was going to bring it up.
It's the small stuff that she does that.
Yep.
It's always character with Chelsea.
Yeah, she was good.
And she understands it, that which makes her.
Alva's from Scotland, guys.
Oh, so there you go. She got 2 Scotland members.
There you go.
See, there you go. So I think now they found a way, because I was thinking the whole night she's losing this belt. I was very. It's not that she sucks.
I don't think she sucks.
No, she just can't get over with the crowd. It's not that she sucks. There's no way she understands it. That's why I was so upset. Like, man, they're doing this match again. Like, they're really trying to give her this belt. And then when they did the surprise with
kendo sticks, trash cans, tables, they brought out everything.
And they even broke the table, and Meech.
Well, actually, the table broke itself, and then when she put her through it.
But she was still very smart not to panic.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
She could have ran over there and tried to fix it, and it would have blew the whole table out.
When she set that table up, the table literally fell. It was on 2 legs. It was
like, you know what? I'm still going to hit the spot.
And she did.
Because
absolutely.
It would have messed up everything. So I do give her major props for that. Because she could have panicked. Some do. Like, all right, I'm going to try to fix it. And it would have just blew both the legs out, and the match would have took 5 or 10 minutes extra longer.
Guys, Chelsea retained. That's all that mattered.
That's all that mattered. Yep, I was happy about that.
But I did like that though when the legs did collapse on it, and
it did
just like dropped it. She's like, oh well, all right, let's do this. She got to the top there. And she's like, all right, let's just do it like this then. So
still a decent spot.
I did appreciate that. Paul says, I didn't know that Maxine Dupree and Roxanne Perez boyfriends are both on the LFG show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. Yes,
they got that.
Yes, they are. I watch that every week.
Well, I knew the Roxanne Perez was. I didn't know about the other one.
Yeah.
Eddie says they need more quality faces.
The kid that looks like The Rock. The kid that looks like the younger Rock.
Guys, I love LFG. I am such a fan of the show. I watch it every Sunday.
The one that looks like a young Rock is Maxine Dupree's boyfriend, and the tall bruiser boy is Roxanne Perez's boyfriend.
Gotcha.
Got another comment here from Josh. It says, Mishin can work, but Larry is right. She just can't get over. She's not a bad worker at all, in my opinion. And that happens. That happens a lot, with wrestlers. You'll see them that they're terrific in the ring, but the crowd just doesn't feel it. And, they just become good workers, and that's all that they get. They'll get a bone here every once in a while. They'll get a title or a title shot or what have you. But for whatever reason, but they're good hands to have. They're good hands to have on your roster. Just because they can't get over, but they can work and they can put somebody else over.
Mm-hmm.
You need those wrestlers.
You do, and that's what makes it. I mean, but they're crowd favorites too. Okay, you have to understand.
What I think really what Michin needs, and we're starting to kind of see it. Maybe. I think maybe her and B Fab need to work together.
I can see that.
Think she could help build B Fab as like I'm just gonna have to say it like this. As like 2 street bitches characters. They need to be like almost like the street profits were at one point, but they need to come out maybe in like flannels, bandanas, like something about them. They need to just there's something they can complement each other with. I see it. I just would have to
Right.
take a whiteboard and write it out until you can clap. But I think
Here's your storyboard, guys. All right, here we go.
Yeah, if I got a storyboard thing, but I think her and B-Fab, because B-Fab is actually quite decent, and they're like, I think I said it to somebody, and 2 seconds later she popped up on Charlotte, which I didn't expect. So it was
There you
like,
go.
okay, so maybe they see something too. I think maybe you could put Michin and B-Fab together, and there's another tag team.
It wouldn't be a bad thing.
I don't think so. I mean, but
Not at all.
What do I know?
Well, it was B-Fab that chased Piper out, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then
So,
Chelsea's there screaming, Piper, come
oh
back.
yeah, so that's right. Yeah, which was a great spot because I definitely thought she was losing at that point.
Then Alba came out of nowhere to help Chelsea.
Josh says, give Michin and B-Fab a shock tag team title win. Yeah, you never know.
I wouldn't mind it.
It might work.
All right. Speaking of shock tag team title wins, we had a triple threat tag team match there to see who was the number one contender. I thought
of you on this show, on this night, but I did. I thought of you right away. You were the first person that came to my mind when the ending happened.
So if you're a fan of past Atomic Drop shows, you know my thoughts on Pretty Deadly. Just not a fan of the crop tops, man. I can't take it.
That's a
But before we get to that match, guys, I thought it was funny that that the commissioner, the commissioner of SmackDown,
Aldis.
Oh, Nick Aldis, thank you. Why is his name get to me all the time? He was doing the chalkboard with all the three tag teams. He said, "Oh, this goes here and that goes there." And I'm thinking, I'm getting dizzy just watching this.
I actually love that spot, Dave.
It was good the way he did it, but it was so like, oh my gosh.
I was like, okay, well, if for the common person who doesn't understand what's going on, I thought that was like an awesome little spot.
It was a dizziness to me. I'm like, okay, for this guy goes.
That's what it was for. It made you think a little bit like, I did forget they lost to them. But this is how all this ties together in certain ways.
I love tag teams, guys. And I was so into this match. I thought it was great. I did. I thought it was great.
It was a good match.
There was some great spots in it, and after a while, I forgot that Pretty Deadly was even in it anymore. Because I just they didn't see him for a little bit, and he had the Motor City Machine Guns and Los Garzas from the Phantasma gang. The old Phantasma gang there.
That's my guys, man. That's my guys, man.
Yeah.
But Pretty Deadly comes in with the win, like the shock win, and it was actually really surprising that the Crop Top brothers won it. And
I love the disco ball, guys. It's hysterical when that disco ball comes down.
They remind me of the Beverly Brothers so much, man. Like,
there's a name I haven't heard in a long time. The Beverly Brothers. Jesus.
The Beverly Brothers.
Blake. Yep.
Yeah, so that's just who they remind me of. Obviously, I said eventually they're gonna have to cut the hair and like leave that alone if they want to be really successful. But I think guys are getting to pull these gimmicks that they were using their whole lives. So they're still getting to use this in WWE. I'm sure it's probably hard for them to get away from.
Do you guys feel the Machine Guns are getting like screwed out of this thing at all? I do, because I love the Machine Guns. I think they're great.
Yeah, they are great. That I think that might be part of the problem is that they're great and they don't really need the tag titles, but as long as they're in the conversation, it makes it relevant and it
makes
sense. Whenever they're in a tag team match, you're gonna watch because they are
they're exciting. They go. It's fun to watch.
Do you see Pretty Deadly taking the tag team titles off DIY, or do you see something else? Do you see
no, I think the Profits
team
do
get inserted, or do we see all those teams in some sort of crazy ass octagonal?
I think at the end of the day, I think the Profits win it. That's just me.
Yeah, I think they do because the Profits are having the hot promos and stuff.
Right.
Excuse me, right now.
I mean, I wouldn't if Pretty Deadly were to win it, I'd be okay with it. But I just think that it's the Profits are the hot team right now, and I can see them taking
because they're just more of the gimmick,
right?
You know what I mean? They're just more of the gimmick guys, and if they win, it's like
But we're just waiting
Total
for
surprise. You know what I
we're
mean?
waiting for
'Cause out of all
Johnny Wrestling and Ciampa to just like it's going to happen, guys. Eventually,
And,
you know.
so
yeah,
so
they're gonna lose at some point.
yeah, they
They're
have
gonna
to.
lose at some point. Because no matter what you do, this is going back to that Me Chin thing. No matter what you do, they really can't get over with the crowd neither. You know what I mean? They're trying hard with this new gimmick thing that I actually think is pretty funny. You know what I mean? That whole moment of silence thing, and nobody's playing into it. At least they're trying something different.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was funny.
Yeah, it's definitely funny, but it's still just not getting over with it with anybody. So I think eventually this wears off. You go back to the Street Profits, the originals, and probably the best of them all. And they can continue to put other guys over. And then, like I said, I mean, I would like to see Los Garza get their hands on those belts though at least once, man.
Yeah, we had
those guys are really, really good, man. And it's
It seems like Andrade's trying to drive a spike there in between them.
Yeah.
We saw after the
Oh
match.
yeah, you're right. I forgot that did happen there too. You're right. Good call, Ken. I did forget that happened.
What's Santos Escobar? Yeah, Santos Escobar, the leader of the Phantasma gang.
Yeah, and then there's
he wasn't too happy last night.
No, he was not, and
he hasn't been too happy for a while.
Not lately.
Then you had Andrade come in and kind of talk to the one lad. I don't know their names. I ain't even gonna try to.
I always forget. He was the one that used to dress like a Power Ranger, though. Yeah, remember that gimmick where he used to dress like a Power?
Well, isn't the one Carlito's brother?
Are they?
I think so.
Just because they're all Hispanic, Dave, doesn't mean they're all related.
No, I think they are. I think they actually are brothers. I forget what. He was actually a singles match for a while, and then he went tag team.
Yeah, I forget. They both were singles characters because remember, the other guy had the ponytail. He used to try to do the thing with the rose. He used to be like the ladies' man type character, and then the other one was like the Power Ranger type character. And then they got away from that, and then they got into this, and I'm like, okay, they're on to something, but they're still kind of losing, and I'm just like, I don't think they should be losing, but I kind of see where they're going with this a little bit.
I do like Los Garza though as a tag team. It was the lads with the LWO. I don't know which tag team that is, but I'm not a big fan of those guys.
You know what though? The last couple, man, they had a banger match like 2 weeks ago on Raw. They finally let them go out. Let him go out
the
there.
LWO?
Yeah. It was a hell of a match. So it's like Ford is HBK and Dawkins is Jannetty.
And that's in response to Josh's comment here. It says, I would turn Montez Ford heel and have him turn on Dawkins. He can be a superstar as a single star. I'd have them lose the titles and Ford get absolutely frustrated and destroy Dawkins. So
see, Josh, I see what you're saying, and I like that, but they were going to go with that, like for like let Ford go on by himself, but they just never happened. So I don't see that happening now.
Josh says it's not Carlito's brother. Primo is, and Epico is the cousin, and they're both in TNA.
Yeah, they just came back to TNA. Now that he says it.
Primo, okay, right.
So they just got back in TNA a couple weeks ago.
You were mentioning about DIY not getting over with the crowd. I'll tell you, the last time they were over with the crowd was when R-Truth was referring to them as DX.
Oh, DX.
I mean,
right.
To be honest, really, I mean,
because it was you're right.
R-Truth. I mean,
and they thought it was funny, and they just everybody ran with it. You know what I mean?
But as soon as that went away,
it was R-Truth. That's why.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting at. It was because of R-Truth and his comedic genius.
Because I mean, we know they can wrestle. It's not like we're taking away from their wrestling.
Oh no, I love Johnny Wrestling.
Just like blood, and Triple H loves both the guys.
Oh, Triple H loves Johnny Wrestling. You kidding me?
Oh, both of them loves them both, but they're just kind of like, and that's why he keeps trying to push it. Hey,
no, but they are a good tag team. Ciampa's good. I don't.
Yeah, because I think if they, everybody, they're kind of like KO and Sammy. People want to see them go against each other.
I guess.
But I don't. I just the only difference is I don't think they're superstars like Sammy and KO are.
Right.
How am I trying to say?
Well, I can see
they're not
I can see
superstars
Johnny
on
wrestling
their
a little
own.
over than Ciampa. That's just
Yeah. They're just not superstars on their own like
right.
No.
Sammy and KO can be. You know what I mean?
I do like I like Ciampa. I think he'd be a good singles heel. But again, he's not superstar. It's I think he'd be just a good heel, like a
Yeah.
good upper mid card type heel. He wouldn't be it's not anybody I could see winning like any kind of world championship. Maybe a
you're
U.S.
right.
title or IC title might be a stretch, but I think they need each other and they need to be together. And if they're not together, I think they need to be fighting each other. I think I like a Sammy and KO, but those guys are legit superstars. It is what it is.
Absolutely.
So, all right, what else we got? We got Braun Strowman and Solo Sikoa.
For now, they are the tag team champions. So.
Yeah. And I think that's going to come to an end at WrestleMania, but who by who? And real quick, you have DIY, Pretty Deadly, Motor City Machine Guns,
Profits,
Garza, Street Profits, and is that it?
That's probably that's probably your fatal four-way right there.
There you go. Yep, there's your WrestleMania right there.
That's 5. There's 5 teams there.
Oh,
so I mean,
I think you can. I mean,
look at that. Well, can't do that
because everybody almost gets a spot at Mania now. They try not to leave everybody.
No.
You know what I mean? People off.
Well, especially having 2 nights, there's no reason to you have the time to get everybody on the show now.
Yeah,
whereas
but I just don't think they want to drag. But they also don't want to drag the shows out to where people are getting tired. So
right. Well, that's what during the first night they want you to keep you wanting more going into night 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Josh says Mello don't Miz and make it 6. I think it's Mello and Miz.
Mello and Miz. Yeah.
Mello don't Miz. Yeah, that's what they're going to call themselves.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's what Miz is trying to make happen.
Mello and Miz.
He's probably right about that. That keeps Mello. That's perfect for Miz and Mello.
Definitely. Those two can. That's fine. Yeah.
All right, so let me catch up on the comments here real quick. Okay. I'm not sure where I lost it at, but we'll just go ahead and through this. Eddie Prather said, Ken, I wanted to put my foot through the TV when Pretty Deadly won. Me too.
I was okay with it.
I tell you what, so those crop top wearing goofballs, man. Whatever. Yeah, it's just that's the only thing.
Faith was all about the disco ball, though. She loved that. She's like, that thing's still rolling.
Yeah, it's like that's the only thing that bothers me is the crop top. Besides everything else, they're good workers. They do a good job.
They're good workers. They're good.
And stuff like that. They work well together. But it's they're wearing crop tops. Why are they wearing crop tops? I don't understand.
That's their gimmick. Bro, come on.
There's only 2 wrestlers that I could think of offhand that wore crop tops that I actually worked for. One was the Blue Meanie, and I think Bastion Booger. I think he wore a crop top to the ring or whatever.
You like both of them?
So,
Bastion Booger.
The fat bellies are funny. That's me. I like Homer Simpson. You know what I mean? Eddie Prather says the Beverly Brothers were actually good if you saw their work as Destruction Crew in AWA. Anybody see that? AWA.
I can't say that I have that. No,
but I don't think they were bad workers in WWE. It was just.
I didn't think that they were good.
It was just a weird gimmick.
Speaking of weird gimmicks, the model Rick Martel, that was a weird gimmick, walking around with the perfume
can. Was it arrogance?
Okay, so I liked Rick Martel. I did.
It was arrogance. Yeah, by Rick Martel. And
I like
Brother Model.
Eddie Prather says Street Profits are the only answer. And again, I mentioned this before. Josh said I would turn Montez Ford heel and have him turn on Dawkins, and he could be a superstar as a single star. I'd have him lose the titles and Ford get absolutely frustrated and destroy Dawkins.
I can't see the Profits. You guys know. I mean, I say it every time, and I said it with the Usos too. I just can't see those guys like not together. It wouldn't be the same.
I mean, I just think in the end it hurts Dawkins the most.
Exactly.
Like he's saying, I mean, and I hate to say it like that because Dawkins is really talented. Like you can see it.
Who does the Profits remind you of?
Who does the Profits remind me of?
I'm going to put a test to you this time.
All right, who did they remind me of? Oh, I mean, it depends on how you're really asking
Right.
the question. I don't know. What are you gonna say?
Crime time.
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, but uh, when they first came out,
I mean, wrestling wise, I'm not saying.
no. When they first came out, that's exactly like what they kind of reminded me of.
Right.
But I think if you really took those two together, I don't think none of them would have really stood out by themselves.
No.
We
But I'm
fully
just saying, like,
we
I mean,
knew 2 or
in the
3
ring. I'm
years
saying in
ago.
the ring wise. I'm not saying outside the ring.
No, you're right. I think, but if we take Montez and Dawkins fully away from each other, it's gonna hurt Dawkins bad, man. And he can really, really work. His personality just isn't what
Well,
Montez
didn't
is.
one of the crime timers go single wise? It didn't work out too well.
I would probably say Shad. Was it Shad?
Chad. No, other one.
This is kind of like when I was on my hiatus.
The one who got the one who died on the
the
shore.
one who died was Shad, Big Shad.
Oh, okay. Then that's who it was. It was Shad.
Yeah,
yes.
He was saving his child's life.
He went single wise. It didn't work out.
Yeah,
I can see Dawkins doing the same thing.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. And Ford is without a doubt a superstar.
Right.
I don't think he wants to leave Dawkins, and I think that was part of their problem last time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he wanted to really leave Dawkins behind because he understood at the time it was going to hurt his good friend.
Right.
JTG went single, and it didn't work.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, and then that was the smaller of the two. I kind of remember that a
Yep.
little bit. Eddie also says Crime Time were never the workers like the Street Profits are.
I disagree with that too.
No, they definitely no.
They worked.
Eddie, what?
They worked.
They worked, but they
Crime Time
weren't.
always worked. We're always in the ring.
But they weren't what Street Profits are. I totally see what Eddie's saying. Like, man, those boys, they're totally different styles of wrestlers. Montez Ford and Dawkins are 10 times better wrestlers than Crime Time ever was.
I don't know.
10 times. Eddie's right about this one. I'll give him that one.
I don't watch a ton of wrestling as much as I used to back when Crime Time was Crime Time. But I'd agree. Like Street Profits are a lot more fun to watch than what Crime Time was. It just doesn't seem like the matches are better.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But in reality, you know, I'm gonna keep it straight with you, man. They're making fun of black people when they do that. When they were doing that type of gimmick, they were making fun of them. They were taking there's just certain, you don't have to wear Timberlands in the ring. You don't have to do certain things.
I just thought it was good.
I mean, I'm 100% honest, man. You know, I don't shoot the shit.
I know. I just thought they were good.
No, they were okay, but what they were doing, man, they were making a mockery of black people, man, and that's kind of what it is. You're out there wearing Timbs, you got your jeans pulled up. You're too corny. You're like two guys down the street that you know they're really not tough. But I mean, and don't get me wrong, they have a look, but you're just like, man, those guys really won't rob nobody. They won't really hurt nobody. They won't, and that's kind of what they were doing. I hated it so bad.
Okay.
If they would have had a different gimmick, maybe it would have worked for me.
Gotcha.
Josh says Street Profits have been on absolute great matches. I can't remember one great match from Crime Time.
No, you can't, unless they were doing something with John Cena, and that probably wasn't great.
And they did have that little thing with John Cena where, weren't they kind of working together, Crime Time and John Cena? Like, Crime Time was a little bit on the face side of it, and they weren't heels at that time. So I vaguely remember that, but I mean, you're kind of right though, Larry. I mean, I can't speak for the black folk because obviously I'm as white as they come.
I totally get what you're saying.
But I mean, like they go out there and they kind of, the money, yeah thing, that the huge like baggy short, they almost like thugs, you know what I mean? Like kind of like playing off the gangster rap, kind of playing off of that a little bit.
Yeah, it's
without
just
get myself canceled or whatever here.
No,
Well,
What are you doing, Larry? Trying to get me canceled before I even get
No,
going?
bro,
You're
you're
talking about
joking.
canceling.
Wait a minute, wasn't that gimmick kind of like when they were with
No, because you're totally saying it in the right way, and I wouldn't
Wait a
get
minute,
offended.
but wasn't that
Especially
gimmick?
if I bring it up, I wouldn't get offended on how you're responding because I wouldn't put you in that position.
Yeah.
You totally answered it the right way. You seen what I was trying to say.
And yeah, and I'm not worried about. I'm just joking. I'm not worried about
I
getting
know.
canceled. There's
Yeah,
nothing
but
to
it wasn't.
cancel.
Okay,
What you
I'm
gonna say,
not
Dave?
going to bring it up. It's fine.
What you gonna say, Dave?
I was going to say, wasn't that gimmick kind of like when they were with Muscle Man? I can't think of his name.
Chris Masters or
No,
the Master
no.
Lock.
No,
No.
I'm sorry. When the
Terrible.
Profits were with oh jeez, he was champion TNA.
Wait.
Muscle Man. I can't think of his name. Huge guy, bald, big dude.
King Kong Bundy.
No, he was with what's it called? Girl at one point. He did a gimmick with that.
I forget who did something with Street Profits. I don't think they ever took the Street Profits.
Bobby
gimmick.
Lashley. Ahmed Johnson.
Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley.
They weren't.
Like, didn't they do kind of a
weren't
gimmick like
thugs.
that?
They weren't thugs though. They were in suits. They were trying to
Okay,
be.
you're right.
You
Okay.
know, yeah. They were in suits, and I thought that
Yes.
actually would work. I did. I thought that gimmick would work a little bit there too.
Right.
No.
Thanks, Josh. Bobby Lashley. Thank you.
Yeah, but the Street Profits more. I see what you're saying too, Dave. But the Street Profits aren't like their whole street, thug thing was just the red Solo cups, and
Okay.
just them saying,
right.
and just them saying, we want the smoke.
We want the smoke.
Other than that, they weren't like portraying something that just didn't look. It just didn't look It's going back to that a word I was trying to say earlier too, but it's just like it just didn't look real. It just didn't seem authentic. You know what I mean? The Street Profits are more authentic. You know what I mean? They're who we are. Da 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 da. Then you got these other guys with like a bandana. Like I said, you got your pant leg pulled up. You got Timberland boots. You know, like it just doesn't look authentic.
Okay.
The Street Profits are totally different. That's where I was going with that.
And that is something like when the Profits were with Lashley with the whole suits and stuff like that. We talked about on here a lot. We thought it was going to work. We thought it was going to be something big, and it fell flat for whatever reason. I don't know what it was.
Vince, man, like he gets something hot. He gets something hot. It's like he played against himself.
Yeah,
right.
Like you got something here. What are you doing, dude? Like, let it cook, and then. If I see something working and like I said, if you came to me with this gimmick, either one of you guys, hey, I want to work with these guys, and I see it starting to work, and then you're starting to but then every time this idea starts to work, then you bring another little idea to me. Hey, how about I add a small layer to it, and then I'm just like, nah, don't do that, and then it's like. And then Ken comes to me, hey man, like I think this is working. I think we should add another layer to it. And I'm like, nah, don't do that. Don't do that. Just do it my way. Do it my way. Bah, 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 bah. You're not gonna get any fucking where. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that's how you end up like with the shit show. Like,
right.
And that's how you end up with guys being wasted.
And I think they fumbled that opportunity.
Yeah, Lashley and the Profits could have used MVP. Absolutely right. It was working for both of it.
I remember when last year was with Lana. Remember?
Yeah, that was a small gimmick they had. But they were punishing people too, man. You can't be doing that. You can't be punishing people like that, bro. That makes somebody want to kill somebody.
I got you.
All right. So moving. Are we done with this? Or
I'm over it.
I think so. Whenever you're ready, boss. You're the MC.
All right, we're going to move on to the in-ring promo between Bianca and Naomi. Great job by both of them. They really sold the shit out of it. They had tears and everything. And then we get the why can't I think of her name right now? Jade came down then. But yeah, And so I don't. The one part I don't understand about the whole promo is basically without Naomi saying it, she said it. She's like basically, you know what I mean? Like she didn't have to say it. And Bianca kept saying, "I need to hear it. I need to hear it." I'm like, why do you need to hear it? She's basically telling you she did it without saying I did it. Like, like she's saying like, well, this is the reason why I did it, but she didn't say that she did it. And then there was like, Bianca's like, I have to hear you say it. It's a yes or no question. Like she answered you like 6 times without saying yes or no, but she had to hear the yes or no. And she's like, I did it, and all that stuff. And then Bianca turned her back on her. And there was part of me that felt like once Jade ran down, that Bianca was going to go back and help Naomi and kind of set Jade up, because I just feel for some reason that's what's going on. But I could be wrong. But Jade went down there and put the what for to Naomi, and Bianca walked away. She said, she goes, I'm done with it, and she walked away. And is that the last we see of Bianca, Jade, and Naomi quarrel? I don't know. I feel like there's more layers to this one. What do you guys think?
You want to go first? You was there live.
I was there. Guys, Jade coming down in the white suit. That was like, okay.
I'd say that was a form-fitting suit, and I didn't mind it.
It really was. It really was. Guys, holy soap opera, gentlemen. My God.
Oh, it was.
You talk about a soap opera. That's exactly what that was. The whole thing was a soap opera. I did it. I could have done it more. I should have pushed her earlier. I should have did this. I should have done. Oh my Lord. And then Jade comes out, beats the crap out of Naomi. Well, Naomi took a beating in the chamber. She took a beating last night. She's getting her butt kicked everywhere you turn. Right? But the best part about the promo, guys, is when Jade gets out of the car, slams it, comes down, looks at Bianca. Bianca's like, get her. Didn't even just acknowledge her. Like, go ahead, she's all yours. That was the best part about the whole thing to me. But to me, it was all soap opera, guys. My God, it was like, I did it. I should have did it. I pushed her. I should have pushed her earlier. All that. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Well, for me, I think that they deserve an Emmy, an Oscar. Triple H deserves a BET award for Black Entertainment Television. Yes, for Black Entertainment Television. That was a 5-star promo.
I mean,
that's what you want right there.
Bianca's crying in the middle of the ring.
You got tears from both of them. Obviously, there's more to this layers. I seen Josh's comment pop up. It took me a couple weeks. There was people in the comments on our show saying Belair did it. Belair had something to do with it. I was saying no, I wasn't falling for it. I'm sold. They pulled this shit off together. They did
absolutely.
It together. I don't know how we're gonna find out that they did this together. But there's gonna have to be somewhere, somebody's gonna have some footage of these two plotting it out together. Last night, honestly, like I said, they were both crying, but I think this right here is exactly what Naomi needed. Because a few
Naomi
weeks ago,
selling that neck thing too. Come on, guys.
A few weeks ago, we're always like, why isn't Naomi really get over? Why doesn't she really get over? And I don't know. She does the glow thing. She's hype. She can wrestle. There's not one thing really wrong with Naomi. She just doesn't really get over. And I think this storyline right here is the one she needed. And I think these two have worked this shit out together. That's why you did get that where she rolled up and she looked at Belair and Belair was like, well, go get her. But
she really looked at her and said, "Look, Bianca, just be out of the way. Like she's all yours."
She did say, "Hey, like if you had something to do with this, I'm just never speaking to you."
Yeah.
And I mean they sold it, but
like Big Man said, Naomi just kept avoiding the question, and we already knew what the answer was.
And this is the era of the small details, guys. If you're not watching, there's small stuff that's happening. Naomi and Belair are still matching in their clothing.
Yeah.
There's certain things, and then when there was an attack, they're showing little signs of here and there, but they were also showing how their clothes is matching up at certain times, and Jade was wearing this while they were wearing that. There's a lot of moving
But
parts
how
here, and
can
I think
Bianca concentrate on Mania when she has all this going around her?
well, that's part of it. That's how you end up
Right.
losing. That's how you end up losing. You have so much drama and BS going on, and eventually, if this is what it is,
But
this is when the whole
but it
explosion
makes you
happens.
think. It makes you think that Bianca should she have really won the chamber?
Yeah, because
I mean,
she's
with all this going around her, no.
Yeah.
You could have picked somebody else.
no, no, because they want all this different shenanigans at one time. How can you focus on the main event when you do have all this other shit going on? So that and, and she was the best. I mean, she was the only option I thought that could win it in the chamber. It was the only one that made sense to me at the time. And still, even I mean, because obviously, I mean, Belair, Rhea Ripley is a marquee match,
Right.
and also then there's Belair and Io is still a marquee match.
Marquee
So
match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you can't miss with those type of matches. That's where I'm going with that.
So I got a quick question here. I've been in and out of wrestling. So EO is Raw. All right.
Right.
Bianca is SmackDown. Right.
Mhm.
So if Bianca were to beat EO, then she'd move to Raw, but you'd still have Naomi and Jade on SmackDown, right?
Yeah, well, because technically they were the tag champs,
Tag team champions.
so they were on both shows.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it didn't really matter. I guess
I mean,
they're more SmackDown now.
they
I guess.
defended those titles on Raw though, so
Yeah, they defended them on Raw.
because they lost to live it. They lost to live in
Yeah, on Raw.
Raquel.
So you
Right.
can. Those belts are the only belts you can technically carry anywhere. So
right on both shows. Yeah.
yeah, because they only have one set. So,
Mhm. Yep.
but I think they are more. Now that you say it, I do want to say they are more SmackDown stars.
And the reason I brought it up was because I just started having a thought here because I do believe Bianca and Naomi work together to hurt Jade. I truly believe that, and I just for some reason I see it in my head where Bianca's facing EO at WrestleMania. And then, of course, this is so popular now where you see a hooded figure come in and help. I just see a hooded figure coming in to help Bianca win, and then she peels back the hood to reveal it's Naomi. They hug, and then it's revealed that they actually work together to knock Jade off her pedestal. Because
Put Jade out.
I brought this up before that I feel like eventually we're going to see Bianca and Jade face each other because Bianca's going to feel like that Jade is just riding her coattails or piggybacking off of her, and that's the same thing that Naomi said. And we mentioned it here so many times last year on here on the Atomic Drop podcast that I still feel that that's what's going to happen. Bianca's going to feel like Jade is just riding her coattails, and that's why she had her, like what, get away from me. I'm done carrying you, and brought her, better friend, much better friend, longer friend Naomi on. So it just makes sense to me.
And they kind of do. They embrace what goes on the internet. So
Yeah.
if we're all saying that Jade's riding the coattails, eventually they're just going to pull it into the story, and if it sounds like it works, why not? Why not use it? And we all know she was kind of riding her coattails because we all know Jade really couldn't wrestle. So
this is
this was benefit. So it all it's all coming together.
Putting Bianca in the middle of this was perfect. Is what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Okay, gotcha.
And they couldn't do it earlier. I don't think they could have did something earlier like SummerSlam or even after that. I don't feel like they could have did it then because that hurts Jade too much because everybody knew that she wasn't doing well in the ring, that she needed more time. If you come off and say, "Oh, you're riding my coattails," and it just shines even bigger light on it for everybody, and you don't want that. You just want,
Yep.
so now it feels like she's a little bit further along with her in-ring ability, kind of almost not quite up to snuff to what Bianca is. Bianca's just phenomenal, but a little bit closer where now you can do that whole "you're riding my coattails" kind of thing. I'm above you.
can
Did you guys
actually
notice
put them in a
when
one-on-one
Bianca's
match.
music
Yeah.
came out? She didn't do it. She wasn't dancing. She just walked right to the ring.
Well, she was still swinging her horse whip on her head.
Not as much. Not as much though. She was like She was like.
But you know what? Everybody's been like that. Cody was down.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
CM Punk was pissed off. Everybody is starting to show their emotions on the entrance too. It isn't all about the explosion. Like I'm pissed off right now.
Yeah, Cody didn't do his thing. I mean,
yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
And that's part of the story. It begins when you come out, when you walk through those curtains. That's when the story should begin.
Sure.
Yep.
And
right.
So we got a couple comments here real quick. Let me catch up. Let's see. Let's start here. Paul says the Oscar goes to Bianca. The crocodile tears and pan in from the camera sold me. And I'm the first tear I saw was actually from Naomi. And then I realized that Bianca had the tears too. I'm like, man, that is just freaking awesome.
Bianca being caught in the middle. Yeah. I mean,
and just both of them crying. You know,
I love you both. They're both my champions.
Well, it like it tugs at you a little bit, like, oh, these guys were friends, and you know, how could she do this? It's they're trying to sell you on that storyline. They're doing a hell of a job with it too. Those women are working their asses off when they're doing that. And Paul also said, "Holy shit! Did you see the spinning heel kick? He knocked his ass out. King Green is knocked out into next year. Time to retire." So that's UFC.
No, didn't see that.
That's UFC talk.
No, my TV froze up, so I missed it.
Eddie says, "Can we see Jade costing Bianca at Mania?"
See, I was thinking that too.
I was thinking,
I could see that.
Maybe Jade found out that Bianca was working with Naomi, or Jade just doesn't give a shit. Say, you know what? I'm better than you. I've passed you by, and let's screw you.
No, I could see Naomi costing Bianca the title.
And Eddie's saying when Jade realizes that Bianca is guilty as hell. Paul also said Cody didn't do this thing either. It surprised me when he didn't tap the steps when entering. Yeah, so and Cody, and that's the storytelling. That's where it starts. It starts coming out of the curtains all the way to the ring. If you're down, you should be down through your entrance. You shouldn't be, still pandering to the crowd. Like I wasn't sure when I was watching. I'm like, I wonder if Cody's gonna say, "So, what do you want to talk about?" Usually he does a boisterous. He still did it, but it was kind of like, "So, Philly, what do you want to talk about?" And they just went into it. You know what I mean?
Well, but if you watch, though, even though he didn't do his thing coming down the ringside, he was slapping hands with the fans though, which was kind of
he's always.
But it wasn't your typical.
Right.
Eddie says Jade Bianca doesn't need a title involved in their match. No, you're right. I don't think they do either. But it doesn't hurt.
That would hurt. That would hurt somebody.
Yeah. Well, I don't think. So if there's a title involved in it between Jade and Bianca, it would hurt Jade more than it would hurt Bianca. Bianca's won and she's lost them. So you know what I mean. But Jade is still new, still trying to get her footing with the fans, with the crowd. So I feel like, because they're really trying to sell her hard, Storm, using the whole Marvel X-Men stuff and just trying to get her over.
And they want her to be what she was in AEW. It's just harder.
Yeah.
And, this is just a perfect example of stepping into a whole new world.
Yeah.
AEW packaged you this way. And understandably why. I do understand.
She wasn't wrestling well at AEW, if you think about it.
What'd you say?
She wasn't really wrestling well there at AEW.
Well, she wasn't wrestling long matches.
Right.
She had a couple bangers, but it was also who she was working with. But, that's the same. WWE.
Well, I think WWE waited long enough to get her in here.
They want you. And half of her matches were squash matches.
I mean, when she came into WWE, she wasn't doing anything until for a while because they didn't trust her.
Trying to get her up to snuff.
Right.
They're trying to get her up to, and then, they came in and then they gave her a big paycheck. So you got to get her out there at some point.
Sure.
You got her, then you got her out there. And then, it wasn't looking good. And so it just, and he's right there too. You don't have good training there. So,
right, there you go. Bang.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, they put you. I mean, but I can't say that because they did have her training certain people. They did have certain people working with her that was well. I want to say Mark Henry might have been the one that discovered her. If you guys know it, Mark Henry discovers a lot.
He does. I agree.
Discovers a lot of
I've heard
people,
that.
So I think he did discover her, and I think they had her training, and they had. It's just like I said, you could go over there and squash a whole bunch of mid card wrestlers.
Yeah.
WWE's a different world, and I think she just got over there and got lost a little bit. And they'll get her to where she wants to eventually.
Yeah, the WWE mid card is like a top card in AEW. I mean, I shouldn't say that because I don't watch AEW, so I don't. What the hell do I know? I don't know anything. So
I watch enough of it.
I don't watch AEW either. I can be honest with you.
I watch enough of it, and there can be some real talent over there, and I don't want to take that away.
I think the real talent's here. I think the real talent's on the other side.
They are. Oh, nice.
So yeah, right now we're at 133 live viewers.
Chime in.
Let's get some comments out there. So,
Sure. If you're watching the show, we would love to hear from you.
Hey, say whatever you got on your mind. Let's mark about it.
Hey, there he is. The other part of the your tag team partner from Part Time Marks there, Kurt McGirt.
Man,
says
let me
Daniel
tag
Bryan
him
was
in.
training her. Daniel Bryan was training her, but
Let
without
me
a
tag
facility.
him in, my man.
There you go. The hot tag.
Oh yeah, he always comes in with the hot tag.
He says Daniel Bryan was training her, but without a facility, how much can you really do? She was made to look dominant, facing nobodies, and when she did wrestle, name matches weren't great. So,
yeah.
And he would know because he was the one that he drugged me onto this, trying to watch this AEW stuff. I was one of those guys who was like, I'm a WWE
I can't watch
fan.
AEW.
I'm not watching that. I'm a WWE
I can't watch AEW.
fan.
No.
And then I would go to like one of my friends' house, and he would have a big party, and I would be arguing WWE. They would all be arguing AEW, and I'm like, you guys do know I'm the only one who's actually wrestled in this room, so I really understand it. Like, it always turned out ugly.
yeah.
Every time you'd have me arguing with 6 other guys, like, this is trash, fellas. Like,
They're like, why do we keep inviting this guy over? Get him the hell out of here.
Oh, yeah, man.
He's a WWE guy.
Man, one time it got ugly, man. Me and this guy was arguing. He was just like, he like jumps up yelling, and he's like, I don't understand why you like Roman Reigns. And I'm like, I don't understand why you like this whole company. Like, and it just got super ugly. And I'm like, if you don't sit your ass down, man, like this is going to get really ugly. But, that's how wrestling fans get.
Kirk got in the house, guys.
I just got in the house, guys. Man, good to have you. Glad you're home safe. They say you out of town.
Thanks for checking in, Kurt. Eddie says being a great wrestler doesn't make someone a great trainer. And yeah, that goes for any part of life, to be honest with you. You can be great at something, doesn't mean you're going to be
Sometimes
great.
the greatest wrestlers are the worst trainers.
That's a possibility, man. Yeah, there's a possibility that you, just because you're great. I mean, some people don't pick up on it, man. I did a lot of training too, man. And what I will say is, like, the last time I did train was probably like a year and a half ago. It's starting to see some of those guys actually win belts on the indies. Even though I don't follow the company that they're involved in now, but I do see like them winning belts and stuff. And I do remember like watching some of these guys like legit, like, man, he's hard on us. He's hard on us. And it was. And I could tell I was definitely, there was probably like 3 trainers like throughout the week, and like they would have to deal with me on Sunday. And the only difference is they had to deal with me for 4 or 5 hours. And I would really like, my practice was different compared to the other guys' training. You know what I mean? I came in and worked you guys because like I did see potential in you, and I would bust your ass, and I didn't care. I didn't care if you were crying. I didn't care if, you know what I mean? Unless
that's why I love that show LFG, because the trainers in LFG, I love it. I love it.
And that's technically how you should be. There is a lot of good shit on there.
I mean, yeah, Mickey James, Bubba, Booker,
and that's why I like
Taker.
Bubba so much on there. like he's like, I didn't shake your hand. And I used to tell, and guys used to be like, why is Lightning this way? And I'd be like, because I'm not your friend.
Right.
I want you to be good. So I don't want, if I become your friend, I'm going to be easy on you. I'm going to be real. So I would never, ever give those guys a hint that I liked them whatsoever. If they did good shit, I would tell them, but I would never, ever show that, like, okay, you have some major potential. I would never do that. And
Right.
I think you got the most out of them that way. To drain some, you need to work them hard. Honest to God, Eddie, I made people cry, man. I promise you. I watch girls take bumps, girls and guys. You take a bump, you get here, you get to crying, and you get to, or you show up late for practice, and I'm like, I want you to do all this shit to catch up, and I want you to do where we're at. I want you to catch up in 20 minutes of 3 hours worth of practice. So I want you to get in here. I want you to run. I want you to get in the ring, take bumps. I want you to do this. I want you to do all this in 20 minutes because we've already been here for 3 hours. So I'm not going backwards just to work with you. So, right. And then, like I said, now seeing some of these guys win belts and stuff, they might not admit it, but I'm like, I hope to get a lot of those guys to where they're at now. You know what I mean? So,
and I'm sure they appreciate it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
It starts somewhere, man. It always starts somewhere, and so yeah. Kurt also said he was definitely on the AEW train when it started. It's sad to watch the decline. Caleb Thurman checking in. What's up, Caleb? Thanks for checking in. He said, I can't watch the fights. ESPN is not working. Paul, what the hell's going on? Paul, call ESPN for Caleb here. Let them know that it's not working.
I don't know if Paul can produce that.
Paul gets every channel in the world. Doesn't matter to him.
I know, me too. But mine froze up, and I haven't moved. I'm stuck with you guys. So
thanks.
Eddie Prather says, I believe in Bubba Ray, in the Bubba Ray way of training.
Yeah.
So
yep. He must be watching LFG too.
It appears that way. So
it's good. It really is good.
Yeah, it is.
But there's that one cocky wrestler that Bubba Ray. It's on Bubba Ray's team, and Bubba Ray can't stand him.
Yeah, I think we're gonna find out. I think Bubba Ray shoves him tomorrow night. So
I know. I can't wait to see it. I'm excited.
It should be interesting.
So all right,
Ken, are we caught up?
We got one more match, and then Lex Luger. So Braun Strowman and Solo Sikoa. Not a bad match. So a couple big dudes going at it, and I tell you what, man, they did a whole lot of running around. So it was kind of surprising. Usually, you see the big dudes just body slams and power bombs and stuff like that. But there's a lot of running around the ring and stuff like that. But overall, not a bad match. But unfortunately, you had Tama Tonga interfere,
of course,
DQ, and that's a Braun Strowman win. And then you had the more important part of it was Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman scuffle at the end, and I dug it. I want to see more of those guys. Braun Strowman seems a little bit stiff right now. I don't know if he has some sort of leg issues or back issue, but he seems a little bit stiff, more stiff than
he's hurting. You can tell.
So,
guys, last night I got to cut you off real quick because it just hit me. Last night during the show, all you heard, guys, was "I love you, Solo."
No, they were all doing it. They were doing it all night.
The crowd was saying it all night. I was rolling. It was so funny.
Man, just for me, it's the reactions that Jacobs Fatu is really getting. I
mean, before the show started, everybody was saying that, and it was so funny. I just,
and without them saying it, man, he's a face.
He is an absolute face. He even plays to the crowd. You know what I mean? So.
Well, he almost has to now. It's to the point. And it's been for weeks now. Because the one week I was like, I think I text Kurt and was like, bro, he's a full blown face right now.
He is.
And they're trying so hard to still make him a heel, but there's nothing you can do.
They love him
because they can see pure talent.
Right.
I've been saying it for weeks. There's nobody that walked in the door within 6 months like he has, and has made the WWE look easy in every aspect. The microphone, the in-ring work, whatever they're telling him to do, he's doing it. I've never seen a person walk into the WWE and be like, "This is not this is not hard for me." most people struggle. Braun Strowman is still struggling. He's been there
Right.
for years.
He's been in the same spot for years.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, he's came in, you know what I mean? And the way you're transitioning, all right, it's like, being without you guys, man. Like, this is what we do. So then it's like, all right, well, Dave's gonna be off the show. So it's your time. It's your time, BL, to step up with Ken. You know what I mean? So, and Jacob just fully steps into the role in 1 week.
I love it. I love his entrance. Fatu!
Oh, the crowd loves it, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not really into this big feud that him and Strowman got going, but
It's okay. It's not bad. I mean,
if it gives him something for Mania, I would much rather see him and Solo maybe break up.
sure.
But if it gives him something for the show, it gives him something for Mania.
I mean, all you saw was Strowman when he got. I mean, he throws Fatu off the table. He hits the table, and there was a bunch of boxes there.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was a bunch of boxes, but them still letting him be like almost unbeatable. He takes a choke slam.
Oh yeah,
He's down for a little bit, and then he jumps back up.
Yeah, the choke slam off the announcer's table, and he's up before you know it. It's really impressive, and it kind of reminds me a little bit. You go back, the Shield, Roman Reigns, he started getting all those cheers and all that stuff, and then he broke out as the superstar. Then you go back to the Bloodline. It was Solo. I felt like Solo was just the silent enforcer. He started getting recognized by the crowd a little bit more. Then he breaks off, and he's a superstar. With his
Solo's
his
bad.
Bloodline. So now
Solo
you have
is so bad.
then you have Jacob Fatu.
You don't like Solo?
Now he was he's starting to get the cheers, and now he's going to break off as the next superstar. It's the Samoan lineage just it continues and continues. It's really impressive right now.
I'm not saying I don't like Solo. I'm saying that he's just bad in general. Just watching him, he's so slow.
You know what? After Roman left, and he was able to be, like you said, the Samoan lineage. You know what I mean? Like, he just stepped into the role after 1 week, and I didn't think that he was going to be able to do that, and he fully did. And yeah,
Right.
I'm with my man Adam Nostikov, as I would know him as. Yeah, Solo just doesn't get enough credit. I think
He doesn't, but he's still he's so slow. He just is.
Again, I think it also became harder once Jacob came up, and
Right,
he just went straight
took
to
off.
the moon.
Yeah,
he took off, and it kind of just was like, whoa, whoa. So I don't think Solo's bad.
I'm not saying he's not bad. I'm just saying he's slow.
Yeah. I just think this whole Jacob thing detoured him just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I think he finally found his way.
So we're sitting at 157 live viewers. Keep throwing those comments out right now.
Yeah.
Sean says that Solo doesn't get enough credit. I like Solo finally got to talk once he was able to separate from Roman, and I thought he was doing a phenomenal job. I really liked him as the lead there in the new Bloodline, and like you said, Larry, that once Jacob started taking off like a rocket, I feel like it might have stole his thunder a little bit, kind of slower, not in the ring. I don't know. I don't know. You can't tell watching it. So I didn't feel like he was slow in the ring. I feel like usually when he is in the ring, he does a decent job. I'm not going to say he's a 5-star talent or anything like that in ring, but I feel like he is the total package where he can have good matches, he can talk on the mic, and he can present himself as a really, really good heel. So he doesn't get enough credit.
It's just his matches are slow. It's just everything's like there's no pace to it.
Well, slow is the pace.
He's really Umaga, though.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Out of everyone, he's really Umaga. You know what I mean? Like,
but when you're fighting somebody that is fast paced and you're slow, it just doesn't work.
Well, and that's not his fault. If he's a slower paced type wrestler, that's and they're putting him with somebody fast paced. Well, guess what? It's not going to work no matter what.
To be honest with you, the slower workers work so much better, man. That running around and shit, man, that shit gets you tired, man.
Yeah, I guess.
I think he is, man. Out of when you because you see Umaga in certain guys, you know what I mean. Which obviously you see him in Jacob, and you see him in I want to say you kind of see him in all of them. But when you look at the build of Solo and how he fully moves, he's more the Umaga type. So
I can see that. Now that you
that's
say
why
that, I can see that.
that's
Yeah.
why he's more the slower worker. So I see
Right.
what you're saying, Dave.
Kurt McGirt says Jacob drifts with so much charisma to the point where I don't think anybody expected it. I think Solo played his role well, though, best he could.
Yep.
So, and Eddie Prather said Jacob is a good dude. Got to hang out with him a couple years ago in Chicago at a wrestling event. He didn't rob you, did he? They were playing him off like a criminal. Every time, like, oh, the man was in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. So was
But you
the
know what?
majority
I
of the
like
80s
that they
wrestlers.
play to that. I like that they play to even though that was years ago. They try to make it seem like it was just like
Yesterday.
it was recently. You know what I mean? But I liked how they played to that, and I like how I just like how they play to that, and they don't like drag it to where he's like this full blown criminal. But yeah, I do like that they have like, yep, he's really from the street. He's really this werewolf. I like
Lock your doors, Indianapolis. Jacob Fatu's coming.
He's a psycho dude, man. He's a psycho.
Eddie said fast-paced wrestlers can be sloppy. Look at Ricochet. Sean also said, I think Solo is still finding himself in his style too, especially with everyone around him being so talented. He's just finding where he fits. His facial expressions are top notch.
Yeah, he has been making he's definitely worked on his character work because some of his shit is funny.
All right, so finally, guys, let's end this on Lex Luger Hall of Fame. Thoughts on this? I don't know. For me personally, I don't know. I'm kind of torn with it because there is
a stain.
Yeah, well, there's this the outside of the ring kind of stuff that happened, and then no one inside the ring, like he didn't have a great WWE career. It was mostly WCW. So I mean, like he came in, as the guy that body slammed Yokozuna and take the title from Yokozuna, be the American guy beating the Japanese guy, kind of thing. The Samoan or like the sumo wrestler, but then turning into the narcissist, the bad guy. But it never seemed to work for him in WWE, WWF, and then back to WCW. It made sense. That's where he made his money. That's where he made his name. That's where he made his character was WCW. And yeah, I don't know. I'm torn with it. I don't know. So yeah, go ahead,
Dave. You go first.
Dave, go ahead.
You're older than me. You have a little bit more Lex Luger.
I love Lex Luger. I do. I love Lex. If you go back to Lex Luger's career back in WCW, think about it. He was with the Four Horsemen at one point. He was with he made his work there. He fought Dusty. He's fought everybody. He beat Hogan for the title. And his career is now that's back in WCW when he was the total package. He was Lex Luger. He was the guy. So when he came to WWE or WWF at the time, say the narcissist, which I liked, okay, with the mirror, did the whole thing. Yeah. Then they had the Lex Express. Okay, it was good. Wasn't great, but it was good. He had slam the whole nine yards. And he teamed up with the Bulldog, which was a really good tag team. Those two were really good together. I thought that was a very good tag team. There's WrestleMania 11. Go back to WrestleMania 11. They were tag team together. Him and Bulldog were tag team champions. I think they were tag team champions. But that was a good gimmick too. Lex Luger to me is just all around wrestler. Did it all, and well deserved, guys. Well deserved.
I did love the torture rack. I was a big fan.
Of the torture rack was one of the great. I put Hogan in it. Hogan, beat Hogan for the title. But okay, can we just forget it? I know the outside of it was very bad, and I understand that, and I know he does too, and he's going through a lot right now with DDP, and he's working hard. He's trying to stand up. He's trying to get himself back together. I understand all that, but to me, he deserves it, guys. He really does, and I'm happy to see Lex Luger in the Hall of Fame. And I didn't think it was going to be now. I thought maybe down the line, but total package, absolutely.
Yeah, I guess if you like I said, you don't never really know what goes on in these people's lives.
Right.
Like they've all been through hell. Shit, we've all been through shit. So, and I mean, it's some stuff that it's all off record. So you can't take away, but from what he did on the obviously, like you said, the WCW days, he's actually one of the Grand Slam champions in WCW. Going back to what Dave was saying, obviously he came over to WWE. That's when I was on my super heel kick in WWE. So I thought the Narcissus was great, especially WrestleMania 9 with the way that it looked. Caesar's Palace, obviously he slams Yokozuna. That's a big holy shit moment in the WWE. I mean, you never think somebody's going to get that man off the ground. Obviously, I'm not a fan of those Lexics, but it was doing its job. He obviously has the big moment of being on 2 wrestling shows in one night. That's very memorable. And obviously, you want to give some of these people their flowers before they're gone.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So, and I never want to take away from people getting to see their flowers given to them, because there's certain guys that they pass away and they're like, man, we missed the ball with that. We should have just gave them their chance to speak on everything. So in closing, another one, man, just somebody getting their flowers for everything that they've done, and you know what I mean, whether they meant well or whatever went on outside of it, it's deserved, man. Not everybody gets to enjoy the fruits of their labor while they're alive. You know what I mean? So it's always good. I want to talk about Dave right now. I want to talk about Ken right now. I want to talk about the good things you guys done. Just so you don't forget it. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you forget the good things that you've done. You know what I mean? So sometimes you need people to remind you of it. And that will give you peace too, especially with you going through some things. And it would be dope to see Lex, be able to walk out there and get his ring and get his stuff, even though he might not walk out there, but to see him stand up and do his speech and DDP, what he does for people, something special, man. He's going to be more well known for what he did outside of the ring, but it's going to make DDP's career really, really something special for what he's doing for these people.
No doubt.
Absolutely. So real quick, we have Eddie saying Lex has taken responsibility for his past actions, and what Eddie is referring to here is back here a little bit. He said, I don't blame Lex for what happened to Liz. Liz made her own choices. Vince butchered Lex.
He kind of forced her, but
WWE.
Okay.
Eddie also thinks it's a long time coming, and he also feels like Ric Flair did not take any kind of responsibility for what he has done in the past. And I thought it was great that Cody was the one who told Lex that Lex was getting in, because Lex had a great rapport with Cody's father.
With Dusty, right?
Dusty,
yeah. Okay,
Dusty.
I thought that's why they did that.
Lex and Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, had a great match, good match in Mania. I don't know how you guys remember all that shit. I have no idea. Like, you're talking about WrestleMania 9, WrestleMania 11. Like, fuck, I don't remember that shit.
I was there.
Well, I'm younger than you guys, so don't try.
I was at WrestleMania 11, so that's what I remember.
How old are you, Larry?
I'm 40. I'm going to be 40.
I met Bulldog and Luger at WrestleMania 11. That's why I remember it.
Oh, okay.
Wow, you are old as
I'm
dirt,
telling you, I guys, there was a mall underneath.
You might have been one of the referees at WrestleMania.
No, I wasn't. No, there was a mall underneath the stadium.
Back then.
Guys, there was a mall underneath the stadium where in down 11, WrestleMania 11, and we were in the mall underneath, and Bulldog and Luger came by us and said hi as they walked by.
They're like, "Hey, it's Dave. Like, what's up, Dave?"
And Luger was huge. I was like, "Oh my god!"
He was super huge.
Both of them were jacked. I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, but WrestleMania 9, honestly, WrestleMania 9 was one of those actual.
That was in Las Vegas, wasn't it?
Yep, it was actually probably one of the first WrestleManias I had on VCR tape. I was at my friend's house and we recorded it. So I watched WrestleMania 9 probably 40 million times in my life. And I was really hoping to leave us senior citizen. I don't know who he's talking about. I didn't attack nobody too old.
Oh
I
Lord.
Oh,
maybe
Dave.
Dave
Dave's
a
a
little
senior
bit.
citizen.
Yeah,
Oh,
Dave's
come
got to
on
be the
now.
only. He's got to be the only. I mean, if you was at WrestleMania,
I was
bro,
at WrestleMania 11.
that's what I'm saying, bro.
I mean, the main event was LT versus Bam Bam Bigelow. Okay.
WrestleMania 9. I'm the same age as basically.
Actually, the
WrestleMania.
main event was Sean and
So,
Kev, but if you want to go that far, it was.
Yeah, I'm the same age as WrestleMania. So like WrestleMania 9 was the actual first one that I got to record at a friend's house, so I watched it over and over.
And actually, WrestleMania 11 is when Money Incorporated was actually born.
I like them too, bro.
Mike Rotunda, it was Rotunda, and then $1 Million Man.
I like some weird ones back then, but yeah,
Money Inc.
WrestleMania 9 was like just so big to me because I was even saying that they're in Vegas this year.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that they needed to open up that outside for at least NXT because that's closed down now.
Well, you go back to WrestleMania 9. I loved it when the Mirror was here and he's sitting there, he's doing this.
Yeah, great, man. But yeah, they can't open that part of Caesar's Palace anymore. I thought that would be dope. To even have the NXT part of the show outside there, man, that would have been.
Hey, wasn't that Giant Gonzalez and Taker too?
Yes, that is. That's
Giant
Gonzalez.
Is that the same? Is that the one where Bret Hart lost to Yokozuna and Hogan came out and?
Yeah.
Speaking
of that Hulk Hogan, guys, I just caught on to this. Speaking of that Hulk Hogan thing, he's only ever been pinned 13 times, bro. He is a piece of shit, bro.
Yeah.
Who, Hogan?
Hogan's only ever been pinned 13 times.
How many times did he submit?
He's not doing the job for anyone.
Because he submitted to Luger when he lost the title.
It doesn't matter. The point was, Dave, he wasn't doing the job to nobody.
Nobody.
True.
How can you remember that far back when I could just remember? Where we can't remember your car keys 10 minutes ago. Yeah, right. You're Japanese, bro. You know how to you know how to help the sick.
Actually, the Giant Gonzalez thing was Elegante before he was the Giant Gonzalez.
Well, but he was Giant Gonzalez for that show when the Undertaker.
Yeah, for that show, but I'm saying, but he was Elegante back in WCW.
Yeah, but I watched that show a million times. Shawn Michaels versus Tatanka. That was Shawn Michaels' actual first Mr. WrestleMania match.
Correct. Yep.
The two doinks was
Doink and Dink?
No, it was just the twin doinks. It was when they came out during the Cranium Crush.
I got you.
Yeah,
they're doing the mime shit. Yeah, I remember that.
Man, I watched.
I was big on Skip and Zip, honestly.
Yeah, so I could talk about that Mania.
Candido.
I do not remember Skip and Zip. No.
Oh yeah, Candido and Sonny was the manager.
Oh yeah, Skip and Zip. Oh yeah, I was talking about them. Yeah,
Skip and Zip.
Yep.
Candido. I forget who Zip was.
Cranium Crush. Boy, they were terrible.
Yeah.
So, I got a quick question before we get out of here.
All right.
So Lex Luger going to the Hall of Fame. Is Liz in the Hall of Fame, or because I thought I saw something today where saying she was going to be the next one inducted, and
Liz is not in the Hall of Fame.
No,
I don't think so.
I could have swore I saw something online today where it could have been just a fake news or whatever. But I thought it said that she was the next one to be inducted. So maybe we'll have to wait to see.
It's funny you say that. I think I might have seen. I seen Earthquake and Typhoon though too.
Actually, those two are actually getting into the Hall of Fame.
Okay, so yeah,
natural disasters, baby.
The natural disasters.
All right, so real quick before we get out of here, right now we're sitting at 170 live viewers. Kicking ass, guys. Keep it going. Follow us on all of our shows at OOT Box Sports on YouTube and X. Give us a subscribe and follow us on X. You can check me out at the Batcave _OOTBSE on my YouTube channel. If you want to subscribe to that, that's up to you. If you want to help me out, check out W Energy, www.w.gg. Use the promo code the Batcave for 10% off your order. Real quick, Inside the Octagon with Josh and Paul, Friday nights, 7 p.m. Be sure to check that out. And Larry, Part-Time Marks, Tuesdays. Go ahead, give it a shout out.
Tuesdays, 10:30 p.m. Me, my boy Kurt McGurk, and usually Dave likes to pop on. We already call him the honorary part-time Mark Josh. He's my earpiece. He likes to pop in. And if he can't make the show, he's always dropping information in here. So I always like to shout him out. And special shout out to my boy from Ganja Graphics, who always makes all my t-shirts. Just the Facts here, the Part-Time Marks t-shirts. So my boy Jim over at Ganja Graphics, he does our t-shirts stuff. So if you ever need t-shirts or anything like that, I can get that taken care of for you. But yeah, 10:30 Tuesday nights, me and Kirk McGurk, we're marking about it.
There we go. Cowboy Dave, when can we find you again, bud?
You can check me out Wednesday nights, 9:30 at the Cowboys Weekly. We are talking about Dallas Cowboys football, all about the Cowboys. And if you want to check us out, like I said, 9:30 Wednesday nights, me and Paul, Cowboys Weekly. We are, talking Dallas Cowboy football.
All right, and myself, you can check me out almost every goddamn day of the week. So I got the Silver and Black Lair LA Kings. It will be, I believe, I think I'm going to go Monday morning this time since the Kings play 2 this week, and they play Saturday and Sunday. So I think I'll go live Monday morning, 9 a.m. Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. The Back Cave talking New York Mets. Then I'll go Friday morning, 9 a.m. Silver and Black Lair Las Vegas Raiders. Of course, talking Raiders. And then next Saturday, 9 p.m., back here with the Atomic Drops. So be sure to check all that out. And all right, guys, anything else before we head out of here?
I want to thank our viewers for coming. Thanks for our viewers for showing up tonight. We really appreciate you watching us on a Saturday night.
Yeah, share, guys. Share this out. Let everybody know about it. Tell them that it's a great show. You don't have to lie because it is a great show. So share it out. Just say that it's more important. Share it out. Hit that like, subscribe, follow. It's very much apprecited. And until next time, thank you guys. And
now wait a minute, big man. Time out.
What, Dave? All right, time out. All right, go ahead.
Time out.
What did I forget, Dave?
You know what you forgot.
I do not.
Oh, guys, you know what time it is. It's time to say it. It's time to say it.
To say what?
You know what I'm going to say. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new United States champion. You know who he is. Let me talk to you. Yeah, L.A. Knight. And you guys know what show this is, the Atomic Drop Podcast. Thank you for all watching us tonight. Appreciate it. Yeah.
See you later.
Later.